హలో. అలో చేశానండి మిమ్మల్ని.
వీడియో ఆఫ్ చేసుకోవచ్చండి, జస్ట్ ఆడియో ఉంటే సరిపోతుంది.
ఆ,
Good morning, everyone. It's my pleasure to introduce our trainer, Mr. Vinod Kumar. He is a cloud consultant and Azure specialist with over 9 years of experience in Microsoft Azure, cloud integration, DevOps, FinOps, and cloud governance. He has an extensive expertise in designing and implementing cloud solutions using Azure integration services and is passionate about sharing practical knowledge through real world examples and hands on learning. Today, he will be guiding us through Azure integration services and modern cloud technologies. So, I request everyone to actively participate, interact, and make the best use of this opportunity. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Vinod Kumar. Welcome, Mr. Vinod Kumar.
Thank you, Harini. Thanks for the introduction.
Now, I'll be handling over to Mr. Vinod Kumar. Thank you.
So much, Harini. Guys, just confirm if you are able to hear me. Just put a
Yes, Vinod.
message. Great.
Yes.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. First of all, thank you so much for joining here. And we'll just cover today the Azure workshop. So I hope my screen is also visible to you. Yeah, I could
Yes.
see it.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you. So I'll start with my introduction and then we'll take it from there. First thing, thank you so much for everyone joining this session. So today we will be covering on the Azure integration services. But before that, I will just start with some foundations on Azure as well. So that my goal primarily today is by the end of this section, whether you are completely new to the Azure or already working on the cloud, you will have a clear understanding of how Azure is helping organizations and how different people are using different services in Azure for their use cases. So with that, we'll start with the cloud foundations, and then I want this session to be interactive. So please feel free to ask any questions if you have. You can raise your hand. I will be frequently checking the chat window also for the questions, and I will just unmute you to take your questions. Right. So Harini has already given some background about me. So I am Vinod. I'm currently working as an Azure architect for one of the Australian-based company. So over there, I handle Azure architecture, FinOps consultancy, then integration services, and also the Power Platform. So there are multiple things that I take care of. I have around 10 years of experience in the domain, as in into IT, and within that, 8 years primarily into the cloud services. So these are my areas of expertise. So I've worked on Azure integration services, migrations, FinOps, and cost optimization. I've worked on Power Platform also. That is something that I'm currently working, which is a no-code, low-code platform. So Azure DevOps is something that I've worked for multiple clients, setting up their CI/CD pipelines, Terraform, IAC, primarily on the Azure side again, and then setting up the governance for the cloud also. So this will be our today's agenda. So we'll start covering with cloud fundamentals. I hope a few of you are new to this. So I would like to understand that also. So I'll just raise a poll in some time just to understand where you are, as in what is your level of expertise on the Azure side, or else any cloud for that matter. It doesn't matter it's Azure, AWS, GCP, Oracle, anything. But this is the agenda. So we'll be covering the cloud fundamentals today. Why, what is cloud, why we are into cloud, all that. And then we'll cover some fundamentals related to Azure. And then some of the governance components that we will cover on Azure. And then we will go to integration services. So here is where you will see actually how organizations are using the different services. And then we will see a real world architecture diagrams. I'll share some of the architecture diagrams also, and then we'll create some simple demo so that you also understand how do we create resources and how do we integrate them. And then we will have a follow-up Q&A so that I will keep at least 15 minutes for you so that you can ask all your questions there. But please feel free to put your questions in the chat as well. Right. So with this, I'll just raise one poll and then we can take it up. So you have the poll on your screen. So I want you to help me with your expertise on Azure. so that based on that I can plan my session. Okay. Okay, so I can see a mix of people here. So we have a few very new to Azure, few have basic understanding, and then few occasionally use. Expert, no one selected as of now. Perfect. So I have more than 72% uh, of the polling. So with that, the most voted one is basic understanding. So I'll just again go to this one. Share my screen back. Okay. One minute, guys. Perfect. Okay, so there are some slides that I have prepared for you, but before that, I want you to understand this why we are, what is cloud, and why we are moving to cloud, right? Then you will understand the things that are there in this slide. So even before cloud, what exactly was happening? So if you look at any company, think of any company like Amazon, Flipkart, Uber, Ola, or else your basic apps also that you see on your local side, like local Shopee related apps, or else any apps. um, there are some websites also there in the market, right? So many websites also. So typically even before cloud, what used to happen is you will have your own company. You will have your own company here. Here it is, right? So people tend to buy servers. Server is nothing but a machine. You can call it as your, even your laptop also, but with high end configuration. It will have high CPU, high core, high end of GPUs and all that. So because it is serving multiple people, think you are using your laptop, and same laptop being used by multiple people. You have some server and some jobs or some website you are running on your machine, and multiple people are hitting your server. Then obviously there will be a lot of consumption. So to hit that, people tend to create multiple servers here, as in they will own a building. Within that building they will have multiple blocks of machines. They will have their own blocks of machine. Today we are calling it as all data centers, inside which you will have multiple machines. But earlier in older days, there were a building. They buy a land, they will construct everything. They will set up the servers, then they will have their own cooling system, they will have their own backup for power and all that. And traditionally everything is owned by the company. Now the company need to take care of multiple things, as in they have to take care of server updates. If there is a power failure, they need to take care of it. If there are any patching happening, they have to take care of it. Let's say if there is if the volume is increasing, if more people are coming to their system, they have to again upgrade it, as in they have to purchase one more building. They have to build again the cooling system, power system, everything. And they have to build their own racks here, and then they have to purchase servers. They have to fit in those servers here, they have to connect them, and then they have to deploy their machine. They have to deploy their virtual websites, everything, and they have to expose them to the public again to use it. So this is a very tedious process if you look at the old traditional way. So now what happened, everything has been moved to cloud. Now cloud is doing, typically cloud, you just hear it as a cloud, but at the end it is also some servers hosted by someone else. So we are just saying you are not going to purchase these servers, you are not going to maintain those cooling systems, you are not going to patching your servers, you are not going to deploy your services, you're not going to scale everything. Instead of that, someone is going to take care of it and you're just renting them. Now who will be providing those services? Those are your cloud providers. Here in this case we are talking about Azure, but there are n number of servers, n number of cloud providers today. You have your local, even today India has its own cloud services as well. So you have Microsoft, you have AWS, GCP, Oracle has their own cloud, Alibaba cloud. So there are a number of clouds. Even I heard U2 or some cloud is there in India also. So now what is happening? These people are buying servers on behalf of you, on behalf of you, as in you are not going to purchase anything. These people are buying. They maintain these servers somewhere, as in they have something called regions. So you will see across the globe they will have their own servers, as in they will purchase the machines and they will just deploy it on the different regions. So they will have the server set up in India, they will have servers set up in Australia, they will have servers set up in US, they will have servers set up in Japan, Europe, everywhere. That regions I will show you also. Now, what exactly this mean? This mean um, the cloud providers, here in this case Azure, has taken the responsibility of creating the servers, uh, providing these power supply to it, providing the backups for your servers, providing the cooling system for your servers, and whenever you need it, you just say I need one server and they will just immediately give you the server. You don't need to do anything. They have ideal servers sitting on their data centers. When you ask it, you just get it. That's it. Now from where you get it, you have dedicated portals for it. For Azure you have portal.azure.com. You will just go there and you will just say I need a storage account, I need a virtual machine, I need this service, I need Cosmos DB, I need APIM. There are a number of services. We'll talk about the services also. But you basically you ask the service and they will give you the service. That is how it is. And then this thing come up, as in what are the services that you will get. Basically we were talking about here primarily on the service servers, right? But typically you will have other things also when you are actually running any network, any website for your systems. So you have to have a proper network, as in if you have a boundary of network, then only people will not um, allow, as in it will, you will have a strong communication between your services, your secured services like your storage accounts or else your SQL databases are not publicly exposed. Similarly, you need storage accounts also, which in traditional you have to buy hard disks and all that. But now these services will also be provided by your cloud services. Here they have their own storage accounts. You just ask them I need 2 GB, 3 GB, they will just give you. Similarly, servers we talked about. Similarly, virtualization, as in containers, Kubernetes services, all those are also available. Now virtual machines also, you, as in sorry, operating systems also you can select. You have Linux machines, Windows machines. But if you own it traditionally, you have to do a lot of changes in your machines. Today you want Linux, tomorrow you want Windows machines, then you have to do a lot of changes. Now it is not that hectic. On cloud it is with one click, you can just create machines, you can delete machines. Then you have middlewares, then you have your own runtimes, as in for your machines, for your websites to run, you obviously need some kind of runtime environments. Like if you are running your .NET services, you are running your Python services, you are running your Golang services, right? So all those needs some kind of setup behind the layer. So all those things you have to set up if you are using a traditional one. But with cloud they are providing for you. And your data also, now where your data resides, if you are using your machines, you have to keep it on your servers itself. But now in cloud, you don't need to buy a machine, you don't need to maintain network, anything. You don't need to, you can just tell them that I need this one. Just to give an example, you have this Gmail, or else you have one. If you are using those services, means you are already using cloud. So you are, when you talk about Gmail or Google Drive, or else any drive, OneDrive, Google Drive, you are just keeping your data in the cloud, right? You are just uploading your files, and then your data resides there, and you can go and get it with any device, like your mobile, laptop, tab, any device. So it is all resides in the cloud. You don't maintain any servers for it, you don't maintain any networking, you never think of what operating system behind it, because this is what they are giving you. All the underlying things all are abstracted, and you are getting only the service. And then on top of it, you will run your applications. Now these applications can be any applications that you think of today, like Amazon, so like Google, sorry, even Google on cloud, then Amazon, Flipkart, Uber, all those services I talked about, right? So but these are all on traditional. If you go for it, you manage it, no one will manage for you. But the same thing, when you go for cloud, you have everything being managed by the cloud services. Now not everything, so you decide what you want to manage and what cloud team has to manage. So based on that, you have, basically you will hear three things like IaaS services, PaaS services, SaaS services. Basically the cloud, when you talk about cloud, these are the three common terms that you will hear: IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. So what that typically means here, let me clear a few things here first. Okay, how can I clear? 1 minute, guys. Okay, so sorry. Okay, I think I have to go with this. Okay. So IaaS means infrastructure as a service. Now here in this way, in this case, what we are saying, I want infrastructure from you. As in, you are asking this cloud provider, whoever it is, you are asking, I want infrastructure from you. Rest of the things I will manage. As in, you see, infrastructure means networking, storage, servers, virtualization, operating system. You provide me. As in, you are asking this provider, and on top of it, I will manage these things like the middle layer, runtime environments, data, applications, I will manage. Now, some service that comes under infrastructure, I will show you them. And then the second kind of service that you can get from the cloud providers is PaaS service. So that means you are saying, you please deliver these services for me, and I will use this one. Right? So, for example, your networking, storage, servers, everything will be provided by the cloud providers, and you just take these services and you just add data to it. You add your applications. You can deploy your applications, and you can publicly expose them. Similarly, there is something called SaaS service. SaaS is like your Gmail. Now, these services, we'll talk about it. Some examples, I can show you some examples for these services. But a live example that you use in your day-to-day life is this one, like the Gmail, your Netflix, your OneDrives, whatever the services you use, right? All those are SaaS services. Means application is provided by someone else. Data is their data. As in, if you think of your Netflix or else your Amazon Prime, so there the application is your Prime, and your data is you entered your preferences, what kind of language you want, what kind of movies you want to watch, your genre, all those data, that is all data that will be handled by this software service, as in the cloud provider will take care of it. Similarly, runtime, middleware, as in uh, obviously when you talk about any application, right? Application basically will be built using some technology. It can be any technology. We don't know right away like what technology those services are built. If I ask you on what technology Uber is built, we might not aware right away. As in, it might be written in Go language, it might be written in Python, it might be written in .NET, Java, whatever it is. So we don't worry about underlying things. We use it as a service. Now all these are hidden for you. As in, this is all being provided by the provider. Here in this case, Azure will provide you, AWS will provide you, GCP will provide you. So Google, for example, when you talk about Gmail, when you talk about Google Drive, all that has been provided by the Google team. So Google team, as in GCP, Google Cloud Platform, will take care of all these things like the application data and everything, right? So I hope this clears you why we need and what it is, as in why we need cloud in the first front. You don't need to maintain all those headache overhead, like when you have a need to scale up, you don't need to purchase servers and all that. So that is why people are moving to cloud. Obviously, when initial days, like back in 10 years back, 15 years back, people were hesitated to move to cloud given the reason security constraint, complaints related constraint. In few regions, people were not accepting it. But over the time, these systems were well matured. You can think of today, all the AI services are running on the Azure itself, or else on GCP or on cloud particularly. So all those been on cloud and you are using it, as in all the companies today are using cloud. Most of the companies, at least I can say 90% of the companies already using it and looking out to use them. And this is where the opportunity is for everyone, as in be you are a fresher or else you are an experienced guy. You have to choose one of these things, whether you want to go into infrastructure side or else platform side. SaaS side, you won't be able to do much because this is something that is owned by the company, as in the cloud providers. But where you can excel is you can provide, you can be an Azure expert where you can provide infrastructure, and you can deploy the servers for them, you can maintain their servers, you can provide their networking, everything. Or else you can be a platform developer, as in you can develop applications, you can maintain their data. Let's say you are working for xyz company. Xyz company might not aware how to use that cloud, how to deploy uh, their websites, how to scale the websites, how to monitor their websites. So those things, if you know on cloud how it happens, then it will be easier for you, right? So this is where you will excel, as in you need to know either platform or either platform as a service or else infrastructure as a service. Now if you go and look at in the market, you will see few more services also, like data as a service, serverless offerings, all those are coming into the market, but those are all some are somewhere they are related to this one itself, right? Now with that, let me just look at the uh, chat window if you have any questions. Any questions, guys? Please feel free to raise your hand if you have any questions. Otherwise, I can just continue. Okay, I can see one hand. Okay, Sai Kiran. Sai Kiran, you are unmuted. Sai Kiran, you can speak.
Yes. Uh, just one issue actually. Like currently, I'm in the learning stage of Azure. Actually, I got this link from one friend. The one thing is like we are already previously we used to host the applications in the VMs. Multiple VMs will be using hosting the VMs and we'll be utilizing, right. But currently we got opportunity to use like a cloud. May I know the reason like why exactly we need to move from VMs to Azure side, and in Azure what things it will replace the VMs?
Okay. So okay, so you have posted this question on chat as well. But that's
Yes.
okay. So I'll just come to the screen again. Okay, so VMs, as in I believe you are using on-premise VMs, the machines hosted by the company, as in this is what I'm talking about here. So you have today the machines being here hosted by the company. They maintain everything for you, as in they maintain it. They maintain the servers in one building. You just you were given access to that machines and you just log in with your credentials and you deploy it. But behind the screen, in your company there is a dedicated team who maintains those servers back, as in the power systems, cooling systems. Let's say you the website that you have deployed, maybe it is being used by 100 people, 1000 people. Let's say if it is scaling to 1 million people, then the problem comes up when you use that virtual machine which is hosted on your company network. The problem is you need more CPU, you need more hardware, you need more storage, all that. But your company might not be able to bear it. As in today you have that 1 million. For some reason there are 1 million people hitting it, but tomorrow it can come down to less than 1 million, like 20% of it, 30% of it. Take an example of a big billion day. When that big billion day, you will see people hitting that website, Amazon website, like 10 million people also hitting. But on a random day when you go and check, it has hardly 1 million people hitting it. So when you see that variance 1 million to 10 million, if you have some kind of system like that, you will not go and purchase on that particular day. Like, okay, I have a big billion day, I have to go and purchase 10. Sorry, 1 minute, I just need to mute you, but I will just unmute you when you have further more questions. Okay. Thank you. So okay, on the other day, you let's say you are coming up with a big billion day. You will not go and purchase some 10 machines and you start cooling it up, and the next day you will just unplug them and you will just keep the servers there for next year. So that is not the case. So to avoid that cases, scaling issues, or else think of it again. The second reason could be, if something happened to your servers, you need a backup of that server, so your company need to maintain one more building for that. So on premise, that is the reason why people are moving from on premise to cloud. The reason is you have a premium backup system, you have scaling system, you have reliability. When you move to cloud, uh, there is something called 5 pillars of architecture also. It's like the security, scalability, reliability. You have to have all these things when you are running a system. These all things being taken care by the cloud now. So that is why people are moving from cloud to from their on premise to cloud systems. But there are some systems which are still on the cloud, which are still on the on premise, which are still on the cloud, and they are communicating with each other. So there are systems, yes. And to your other questions, what is the alternative for virtual machine? Virtual machine, as I said, it is just a machine or a server on your local on premise. Now the parallel one on the cloud, we call it as virtual machine in Azure. Um, we call it as a virtual machine in Azure. In Amazon, we call it as EC2. In GCP, they might be calling it as some other thing like virtual machine or some desktop, something like that. But eventually, it is just a machine. And here that will come under infrastructure as a code. Now you are going to purchase one virtual machine, so that is what you are saying. I want to deploy my application, I want to install the OS, I want to have install the runtime as in, let's say you are deploying a .NET application, you need .NET versions, you need some npm packages, you are deploying some angular application, you need some kind of packages. So you will do that installation, npm install whatever the packages. So you install, you own it. So that is what infrastructure as a code. Your virtual machines will come under this. You generally go and just ask for, I need a virtual machine. So that is an alternative on the cloud side. I hope that answers your question.
Yes. But why can't we take so as you mentioned like VM, so we got like IAS, and when the PaaS will be come into picture then?
PaaS as in, you will not maintain. Sorry.
Uh, just I want to know the exact difference of both.
Yeah, I will just give you. Where is that? See, when you go and let me just go to Azure portal itself so that you will see it. See, when you go for a virtual machine, right, you will generally ask for, you'll just type here, I need a virtual machine. I will cover this portal, guys, so please don't worry. So you will just mention virtual machine, I need a virtual machine. Now when you are asking for a virtual machine, it will ask you multiple details, as in what level of machine you want. You see, it will ask you what is the name of the machine, where you want to deploy it, and then it will not ask you for what kind of app you are going to deploy here. Like it will just give you the OS for you, whatever the OS you want to choose, you can just choose it, right? But you will not see here the scaling functionality, the patching functionality, you will not see them here. You will not see what kind of app you are going to deploy. Let's say you are going to deploy .NET version, you are going to deploy a Python app, you will not see it here. Now you will be given just this machine for you with the configuration that you are choosing, like 4 core, 8 core, whatever you want. So they are just giving you the laptop for you. Now on top, you are going to install all the other things that you want. Let's say you want to install Teams, you want to install Zoom, you want to install Visual Studio, you want to install all those things, right? So those things you need to do, as in you will be just given a virtual machine. But on the other side, PaaS services means, for example, web apps. So there are some services, PaaS services. So these are services, when you go and create this service, right? So they will give you everything, as in, you don't know what is behind, as in what kind of course they have used, all those things you least bother. But here they will ask you about runtime. So what application you are going to deploy, so whether it's a Java or that. So here, that is what in this screenshot also you are seeing. So here you will be given only the operating system, you will be given the networking details, all that. But here they are giving the runtime and middleware for you, so you don't need to go and install for it. Now what additional benefit you will get, you, if you look at this one, you might be thinking that I will just get a runtime and I will just get a middleware that I can go and install myself also. Yes, you can do that, but the additional benefits that you are not seeing on the screen that you will get is the scaling, the reliability, the backups, everything has been handled by this team only, the Microsoft team, the AWS team. So for example, if you enable this geo redundant, right, so what it will take is, you will have one server being in one place, you will have another server sitting on some other region. Just give me a minute, guys. Yeah, so let's say the you have some servers in Mumbai, some servers in Hyderabad, as in same servers, same application, same data, you want to replicate between those. Now if you just enable this one, right, it will get automatically enabled. But if you go for a compute service, as in IaaS, infrastructure as a service, you have to set up that, you have to set up the copy data functionality between those things. Those you have to take care, as in the app also you will not be able to, you have to deploy multiple times. Like tomorrow you are expanding it to Europe, you are expanding it to Japan, you are expanding it to somewhere like Delhi. So you have to go and deploy everything on your own. But if you go for a PaaS service, it is all taken care by the cloud providers itself. Now the plans also, you can just choose the plans. Now if I just show you the different plans that we have, create one new. Okay, now these are the different plans that will be available for you. Now these are the some of the benefits that you will get when you go for a PaaS service. You see, you will have auto scaling functionality, which is taken care by the cloud provider itself. You will have a backups, daily backups, they will take care. But if you go for an infrastructure as a code, right, that you have to take care of it. Now again, staging slots is some other concept. That means maybe I'll try to cover this, not today. But zone redundancy is something that I talked about, copying the data. Network integration, if you go for a compute service, you have to set up on your own. But here, this all will be taken care by the PaaS services like the Microsoft itself. So these are some of the advantages that you will get. But if you go for a infrastructure as a code, those everything you have to maintain on your side. Now why when I will choose platform as a service, when I will choose infrastructure as a service, it is on the company side. So company will decide whether I want to give the full control to them, as in I want to give them the control of um, maintaining the data into multiple zones, as in let's say you, some companies might not be interested to put their data in Mumbai and Delhi, so they want to maintain their data themselves itself. So in that case, they generally go for infrastructure as a code, or else some services might not be available on the platform. Let's say these platform as a service today, if you look at they might be supporting the latest versions, but your applications or your services might be using some old technology, old legacy systems like COBOL, or some other languages, some old frameworks which are not being supported by these platforms. Then you generally go and choose this infrastructure as a code. There you have a full flexibility of maintaining everything, as in you can install whatever you want, like the way you do it on your laptop. So this is the reason when you will choose a infrastructure as a code and when you will choose a platform as a service. I hope that answers your question now. A thumbs up would help. Perfect, thank you. Okay, so with that, I will just move because we have to cover multiple things. Now, the same thing, whatever I have explained, it is just an analogy. Like when do you go for an IaaS? What is a PaaS and what is a SaaS? This is just an example. Let's say you are going for you want a pizza, and generally you will just rent a commercial land, as in you will just go and rent a commercial kitchen, and you will go and you will prepare everything. Like you will have You manage everything, as in you have to go and purchase ingredients, you have to go and purchase your equipments. They will just give you the land, and they will just give you the power supply, and then you have to buy everything, and you have to prepare on your own, and you have to just consume it. But PaaS service means everything will be taken care by one company. You are supposed to just ask them, I want this toppings, I want this like this base and everything, and then they will take your order, they will just customize it, and they will serve you. Otherwise, they will just give you the pizza and you just consume it. You don't worry like what toppings they are putting, what kind of base they are giving. You don't worry about it. Just like the way Gmail you will not cover, as in you will not you can just use it, but you will not be able to add some features to it, right? So that is how it is. So this is just an analogy. Maybe if you are explaining this to someone else, you can explain this. Now these are some services, right? So if you look at today, Azure has multiple services. As I was talking about, you will have I will show you this on the Azure portal as well. There are hundreds of services that you can think of, like the infrastructure services, primarily compute services, storage services, networking services will come under infrastructure as a code, where you'll have virtual machines, containers, Kubernetes, and all that. Now the storage related also, you have Azure storage. Then for networking, you have virtual networks, load balancer, DNS. So all these things. Now, as I mentioned, you can be a platform engineer, or else you can be an infrastructure engineer. If you are an infrastructure engineer, you need to know these services primarily. So you should know how to deploy virtual machines, how to maintain them, how to patch them, how to spin up them, scale them, create backups for them, all those things. Similarly, for how to virtual networks, so how do you create networks, subnets, how do you connect them between one network or to another network, from on-premise to cloud networks, how do you create load balancer, how do you set up DNS servers, all these things. Or else you can go for a platform service. Now platform service, you have application services like the way I showed this one, web apps. So the web apps I was talking about is you will be given some machine with some configuration already, like Python, Java, whatever it is. You just go and deploy it, and then they will take care everything on behalf, behind the screen, like the scaling, backup, everything. Similarly, you have SQL database also. If you go for a PaaS service, you will have the server already installed, you will have all the database already installed, you have all the configuration, everything needed has been installed for you. You just go and create a table, use that table, that's it. But if you go for an infrastructure, you want to install a SQL server, you will be given a virtual machine inside which you have to go and deploy that one. You have to deploy the SQL server related components. You have to maintain the version, whatever the version is, 2014, 16, or the previous versions. You have to maintain everything. You have to maintain your data. The data will also reside on your virtual machine. So that is how it is. Now you have Azure AI services as well. Again, they come under platform as a service. They will give you the services. You just go and consume them. Now, whatever you want, you just go and add to them, and you will just consume them. There are some compute services also sitting here. They are also added under platform services. Over here, the advantage is additional things they will take care. Though they are compute services, they take care of couple of things, like you are scaling up things, the uh, backup things, few things they will take care of it. But runtime environments, middlewares, whatever the apps you want to install, that you need to take care. And this is what today we are going to cover, integration services. This is what we are going to cover under platform services today. But there are, you can see, n number of services available. For networking, you have all these things available in the cloud, Azure. Few of the services I will definitely show you. And this is what the data center that we were talking about behind the screen, what is it is. As in these all under these servers only, all these services will reside. As in, if you ask for a virtual machine, you will be given some virtual machine in this data center. If you ask for a AI service, you will get it from here, somewhere here. So this is all it is. Now where actually these are, you will see it now. So I'll cover first what is a data center, and then where you will see the data centers. I'll just show you some examples also. Now, what is a data center? A data center is nothing but, again, just like your office building, it will be a building or else it will be a land on which some servers will be already set up. Maybe I'll just show you some this one, some image that will give you some idea. If you look at this one, you see there will be some land purchased by these people, Microsoft people, and they will just build like this. This is one building, second building, third building, whatever the buildings are, and inside these buildings you will see the cooling systems being set up. They will supply the power system for this, like the what we call transformers, all that will be taken care by this people. Cooling system will be there, and then inside this you will have something like this, racks. So in this racks you will have the machines being set up. They are connected by this, and there will be a dedicated team who will be taking care of these connections behind the screen. Now your company don't own it. This is owned by the Microsoft. Similarly, AWS team will have their own data centers, something like this. And then when you ask it, they will just give you some part of it, like a small part of it. Now where is this? This will be somewhere in the regions. Now where are these regions? Now if you go for Azure regions, right, I'll just give you that. This is how it is spread, right? So they have the data centers set up like this. They have it in India, they have it in US, across the globe they have. I'll just open it in a new tab. Yeah, so this is how it is. As in today in India, we have in central India, India South. I just took an screenshot. This might not be the latest one. We have one more in West India also, but just to give an example. So this is where the data centers would be. So at different places across the globe, people will have the data centers. Means they will purchase some land. They will just install everything, whatever is needed, like the servers, power system, everything. And in this, you will be given some space. When you go and say, I need a virtual machine, and you select India South. In the India South, one part of the server you will be given, right? So this is how it is. Now, again, within that region also, you have something called, so this is what a region is. Now let's consider this is South India or Central India. Within the Central India region, you will have something called availability zones also. Now what is an availability zone? Availability zone means within one region you will have multiple buildings. Think of it as multiple buildings, where again the reason is n number of reasons. Like let's say if something happened in one building, they want to have other building up and running so that you will not be get disrupted. Why we are moving to cloud? The reason is we don't want to maintain the overhead of power systems, cooling systems, scalability systems. Now if you maintain only one building, again the cloud providers are maintaining one building, and if something happens to this building, that doesn't make sense, right? When you are moving to cloud, that is why we are moving to cloud, because they maintain multiple systems, they maintain the backups, they maintain the networking, everything, and they maintain the scalability, as in as in disaster recovery. If something happens, there will be another set of servers which will be available for me to serve. So how they build it? They build it like this. They will have they within one region. It could be in one region or it could be in another regions also. So you will have one region and you will have multiple buildings, where multiple buildings will have their servers. Let's say uh, if something happened here, let's say some power issue happened here, then this building will be available for you to serve. As in, let's say you are asking for a virtual machine, this will come, your request will come here, and something happened here. Now this request will go here and you will get it from here, from this system, from this server you will get that virtual machine being created. So that is how it is. As in internally also, within virtual machine, within Azure region, you will have availability zones. Now what they will do, they will help you in they will help you basically. If something happens, they will serve you in the other purpose, as in you will get it from the other availability zone. Now this screen has, this is what we have here also, like within one region, how many availability zones can be there. Again, it depends on the company, cloud provider. They will decide. It can be within one region, they will have multiple availability zones, and within one availability zone they can maintain one data center or else two data centers. Now within one region, we are saying, let's say if this is Mumbai, within Mumbai we are saying three availability zones and we have four data centers. Similarly, Azure 2 region, here they are maintaining three zones, but in this region they have only one data center. So this is how it is, right? uh, I hope this clears how actually they're setting up in the background, as in just a base layer, fundamental layer. Again, there are in depth so much within it also. I'm not going to over bombard you with as in depth things. I'll just want to give you an high level so that you will understand what is a region availability zone, when do we create it. Just take, I'll see if there are any questions. You can lower your hand, Kiran, if you have, if you are okay, or else if you have any questions, can you just put it in chat so that I will understand. Any other questions, guys? Perfect, thank you. Okay, so with that, I'll do one thing. I'll just show you some document also, so that you will also know how to look at the documentation when we are talking about, and how do we learn more. So you have, when you just go and search for Azure regions, right, you will get the link, first link. Again, this is only for Azure. If you go for AWS, you will go for GCP, you will get more regions. That's all there. But when you go here, this is what you will be given. Now, the regions that I was talking about, these are all the regions. So all regions are here. Specific in America, you have all these regions like West US, East US, North Central US, Mexican region, all this. If you look at Asia specific, we have here India, South Central, then West India, South India, and there is one more Central India. This is Central. I think this is recently added. So this is how it is. You have the regions, and they are saying whether the availability zone support is there or not. If it is there, that means we are saying within that multiple buildings are there or not. If yes, yeah, you will see it here. Now paid regions, will cover it later, but where it is actual region, actual location. So Central India, it is in Pune. So this is in Hyderabad. This West India, this is in Mumbai, and South India, this is in Chennai, right? So in this regions, you will see the Microsoft data centers, and this is geographical region, and this is programmatic name, as in when they are calling Central India, this is what they mean, right? So this is the regions that we have. Similarly, I was talking about the availability zones also. So this is what the availability zones. So this is the same screenshot that I picked up within a building, right? So this is how it is. So you can go through this documentation if you want more details, definitely. With that, let me see. Do I have anything to cover here? Okay, this looks good. Now let's move to PPT now. We'll see what things we have covered till now. I'll just bring that PPT here, guys. Okay, perfect. Okay, so this is what we discussed, cloud computing, about cloud computing. I'll take a razor. Okay, so this is what we are talking about, traditional IT. What is the problem with that? You need to buy servers, maintain hardware, capacity management, pay everything, as in even they are ideal, you have to pay for it. You are slow to scale, as in even though you need to scale it up, you have to buy machines, you have to plug them, install them, maintain them, everything. So it will slow your process. But on cloud, it just with one click you will be able to. Now this is, they are saying demand whatever service you want, you just ask it, they will give you. Scale up and down within minutes, but you have to do it on traditional, it will take days, months, at times years also. Pay only whatever you use. If you don't want it tomorrow, you just go and delete it. You don't need to keep them idle, as in servers will not be there for you. Global reach, again, you can deploy anywhere you want. You are sitting in India, you want to deploy your machines in US, you can deploy. But with traditional, you have to purchase a building in US now. So that is how it is. And as I mentioned, if you are using any of these services, you are already using cloud, because they are already on cloud. And this also, we spoke about regions. We have around 60 plus regions. Maybe this number might be high also today. And they are spread across 140 countries. And yeah, so these are the, as in global infrastructure, why Azure? Again, this is very specific to Azure. So Azure, what services they are providing? So they have a global presence. They are spread across 60 regions. They have complaints with multiple regions, as in HIPAA controls. Some regions, like when you go and see China region, they might not be okay to expose their data outside. If you go to European regions, they also have a strict rules in their policies. So those kind of certifications these companies will adopt, and they have their all these controls. Similarly, they are pretty matured in AI services. They have very strong presence in security. um, they are on the hybrid cloud as well, as in if you have your on-premise systems, be it there, we connect to your services. That is what it means. Hybrid cloud means you can connect from your cloud to on-premise, or else your cloud to another cloud. So let's say you want to connect from Azure to GCP to AWS to Oracle Cloud, you can do that. Integration services is what we are going to cover today. So these are all some of the services. We'll cover what is an integration and all that. So this is something that we just spoke about, region and availability zones. So I'll just move ahead. Okay, so this is the primary thing. Now this is where things gets interesting. Few of you already know what is and how do we create Azure, as in how do we create virtual machine, how do we create storage account, or at least the portal. But for few of you might not know this, so I'll just cover this one first. So basically, think this as your company. Azure, as in how it is laid, as in how, when you talk about any resource like storage account or else any SQL database or any service that you can think of, any service will have some hierarchy, as in where it go and sit. Let's say you are using some file today, you have one file, PDF file or else any Word file. Generally, where do you place it? You will place it in some folder, right? In your machine, you will have a C drive. Within that drive, you will have multiple folders. Let's say you have a Python related files, you have .NET files, you have some personal files, and you want to put Python files somewhere. So you will generally create one folder called Python, and you will put it inside that. Similarly, when you talk about Azure, you have this layer, as in you can think of it as your file system only. First layer, like your C drive, you have a management group. Within that, you will have subscriptions. Within that, you will have one more folder called resource group, and within that, you will have actual files here. Okay, so now why do we need this segregation? I will cover each and everything. What is a management group? In fact, I will show you on the Azure portal also where do you see them, right? Now at individual level, you have some operations to do, as in why do we need a management group? So with a management group, you will have some governance that you can set up at management group level. Let's say let me just go to next slide so that it will be clear. So this is management group. So on the management group level, you can set up governance, you can set up policies, you can set up complaints rules, you can set up security standards. Now what are these things? So basically, uh, governance means you might be having some kind of uh, complaints related constraint. Let's say you want to set up some kind of data related policies. Let's say we are in US, sorry, Europe, and the company don't want to expose their data outside. So you can set that kind of policies here on the management group level. So I will just show you on the Azure portal so that it will be more clear. Let me again go back here. We'll just go to Azure portal. Okay, even before that, let me just give you how this portal, how do you get to this portal. So this is the portal where you will be able to manage all your Azure services primarily. So you can create whatever the services you want. You can just go and ask for it. Let's say I want some storage, I can just go and ask for it. Now how do you get access to this service? Basically, there are a number of ways how can you get to this portal. One, maybe your company is providing, the other way your client is providing for you, or else if you want to go for a trial version, few of you might have already used it, you can just go for Azure free trial, and you can just uh, create one account for yourself here. Try Azure for free, where you will be asked to provide certain details of yours, and you need one credit card which as in this is all free. You just need to give the details there, and then you will be given access, as in you will be credited with $200 for 3 months, sorry, for 30 days, one month, and you can use all the services that you want. There will not be any upfront cost. You can cancel anytime. That is what being quoted here. Or else the other ways, as I mentioned, you can go for pay as you go. You go and use the services and you just pay for it, right? So you can opt for it. Now when you go for this one, right, you will be basically asked to uh, what give certain details. Maybe I'll just share you some article for it, because I have already consumed it. So that is why you are seeing it is asking my, as in some credentials. uh, 1 minute, let me see how to create again any article you can follow, doesn't matter. Okay, so here is what they are saying. You are supposed to use your credentials, and then it will ask you for these details, as I mentioned: country name, PAN card details, address details, all those details, like the way here. And then it will ask you for your credit card details. Again, as I said, it will not cost you anything for 30 days. And then you just do it, and then you will be able to, you can just get this. You are ready to start, and you can go to Azure portal. So then you will eventually land here when you click on this. I'll just post this link in the chat, maybe for your reference. If anyone want, you can take that. With that, you will load here, as in you will be land here. And then I'll just cover a few things here. Then we'll go to the concept of management group secure subscription and all that, right? So first thing, when you land here, I have used some of these services. That is why I'm seeing it in my recent list here. Otherwise, you will see a blank screen here. I have some resources. I have some resources that I have used. That is why you are seeing it here. Otherwise, you have these services that will be listed here. We have more services. Then how to navigate, you have here. If you want to go for more services, you can just click here. You have more services listed here. You can add to your favorite list. Let's say you are using some services on frequent basis. You can add to your favorite list also, right? And then you have here CLI version, as in if you want to use Azure, right, this is one way. Like Azure portal is one way, but there are n number of ways. As in you can write programs also, any language, SDKs, REST APIs, uh, as in C sharp language, as in sorry .NET, Python, whatever the language you want. You can write language, and you can use create services also. You can use CLI commands. You can use Terraform, IAC. That is what we call it as IAC, infrastructure as a code, where you will learn about Terraform, Bicep, ARM templates, Ansible. So those are different uh, ways how you can interact with these things. And then you have the notifications, where you will get notifications when you deploy resources, when there is a billing related information, that you will get it here. Any settings that you can set it here, like preferences, languages, and everything. If you want to raise a support ticket, you can raise it from here. And few details that you have here, as in your name and all that, right? So let me show you the resources. So we were talking about multiple resources, right? So this is what the resources. So the resources has been categorized this way, like the compute, containers, databases, general resources, storage related, networking related, all those. Now these are all services that you can go and use on the Azure side. Now few of them you will see it in preview. That means they are not ready to use in production. You can go and do POCs, you can use them, test them, everything you can do. But they are still in preview, means they are not yet ready for production. As in they are still doing assessment, as in are they ready for production or not. One day you will see them in public preview, sorry, publicly available, general, I mean general. And then you will see partner means this is owned by some other company, but they are selling it here. As in you can also create one service, and you can sell it on the Azure portal. So that is also one option. As in you create one product. Maybe you are good at storages. You have created something like encryption service for storage accounts. You can just go and sell it on here. That is what we call it as marketplace, Azure marketplace. You just need to go and uh, give certain details, and they will uh, allow you to sell, like the way these people have done. Now here what they are selling, they are selling some data management informatica related service. Similarly, Kafka company has selling Kafka services here. Similarly, Red Hat, we have, again, this is from Azure, so that is why you're not seeing it as partner. Then Quantum Workspaces, all these things. Then SAP team has provided this one, Mongo team has provided this one. So this is how it is. Okay. Now these are all the services. Now how do we create services? As I mentioned, you can go and click on any service and you can create it. Okay. Now I will just go and show you the management groups. Management group. So this is the hierarchy that we were talking about. So you will have one tenant and you will have one root. Inside this also you can create multiple tenants, multiple management groups. As in, if you look at this example itself, you see we have root management group. Again, as I mentioned, consider this as your C drive. Within the C drive, you have multiple folders, like one folder for HR, one folder for IT, one folder for marketing team. And then within that, you will have subscriptions. So that is what you see it here. I have one C drive. Inside that, I have one root tenant. I can create one more management group as well. And I can just call it as HR. HRMG, I will just call it as. Okay, spaces are not allowed, so I can just put hyphen. And then I'll just call it as HR management group. Right? I can just submit this. Now it will create one more group here. Now what I can do, I can give only the HR team access to this group. Like the way how do we create folders? As in, I want to give access to one folder to one team. So you have uploaded some files in the Gmail. You have multiple folders. You want to give only one folder access. Then the same way, if you want to give this HR folder access to one people, you can see that. You see, this has been notified now. I can see group has been created. They are calling it as updated, but you see the group has been created. Now within this group, you can create multiple groups as well. As in, I can create something like HR group, right? I can call it as India HR group. I can call it as US HR group. I can create multiple management units and I can have the resources within that also. So that is one way. As in, one folder within that, I can give more access. And within this management group, you will have something called subscription. Now, why do we create management groups? When you open any management group, right? Certain things you can handle. One thing I mentioned, permissions, as in what I mentioned, access side. You can give the access is what I mentioned. So this is where you can give access, IAM. And this service, you will see it in every resource. Now you can go and add the role, what role you want to give to what person. So when you talk about a HR group, right, they will have one mail ID. So you will just go and give one role, whatever the role you want. You have n number of roles, but this is particular to job role, but you have a privilege where you can just give owner role, contributor role, read only role. So those roles you can just give. You can just select any role you want to and then click next, and then which members you want. Again, you will have a dedicated groups for your company. As in, if you are having HR India, then you can just search for HR India. HR US, you can just search for HR US. That group you can select and you can just dedicatedly give them. This way they will have a dedicated permissions. So one thing you can think of is you can assign the permissions. The other thing that you can think of is governance, is what I'm just mentioned. So under governance, these things are covered, as in the security things, policy things, deployment things, all these things. Now we'll cover these things as in some other workshop, because this is not relevant as of today for this session. And then you can manage your cost as well at the management group. As in, you can know how much this team has used, like that. And within that, as I mentioned, inside the management group, you will have the subscriptions. So I don't have any subscriptions inside this one, because this is something that I just now created, right? So but if you look at the root one, you will see one subscription under my name. This is one subscription. I purchased only one subscription, but in real time I have seen companies who are having 5,000 plus subscriptions also. That is the uh, that is the way how large organizations operates, as in how they create subscriptions. Now, as I mentioned, HR one group, right? Now within that they will have some subscription. They can call it as uh, let's say HR India dev, HR India production, HR India sandbox, something like that also they can create. If you look at this example also, you can see it. So for example, human resources, they have dev and test subscription. Similarly, for marketing team, this is the management group, where they are having free trial subscription, and this is also free trial subscription. Similarly, you have EA subscription. So like the way, whatever the name you want to give, you can give. Let's say in the marketing you have two teams, again inside marketing also you have two teams, then you can create one subscription for one team and one another subscription for another team. Now we have seen at management group level you can assign policies, as in we have an option to assign policies, security, complaints. Similarly, when you go for security group, the next layer, the subscription. Now on the subscription, this is the boundary, as in you can assign billing, you can assign again the RBAC roles, you can assign the quota also. Quota, as in at times marketing team, when you are giving to marketing team, you want the marketing team to consume only certain machines. You want to limit them, as in you don't want them to create 100 machines. You want them to create only 10 machines, and you want to restrict them to create it only in the central India. That also you can limit it. So those kind of limitations you can definitely set it up. That is one thing. And common use cases are subscription, as I mentioned. You can have production related subscriptions, development related subscriptions, sandbox related subscriptions. So, and then where do you use production? That is what been listed here. For development, anything that you are developing, you will have it. Anything that you are just using for learning purpose, you can create one subscription for you, and you can just create them. So this is on the subscription. But if you look at it on the Azure portal side, so this is one subscription that I have. Now, as I mentioned, right, when you sign up for the free trial, right, you will generally get one subscription on your name. So one subscription and one management group will get automatically created for you. And then if you want to purchase one more subscription, you just have to go and pay for it. But basically you will get one subscription and one management group by default for you. That is what I also have received, and that is what I'm paying for today, right? So with that, I will do yeah, so this is the subscription that I'm talking about. Any resource that you see, you will see it here what the resource is. Like the way, if you look at management group, I am in management group now. Let's say if I open this one, you will see it here, management group, and some of the properties for it. Similarly, if I go for a resource group, subscription, this is where it is subscription and some actions that I can take care of. Now for a subscription, as I mentioned, it is a billing boundary. You can see the invoice details, everything here, as in you will be billed on number of subscriptions you own. Let's say you have 100 subscriptions, you will get 100 invoices for you. But again, there are different ways how you can get your invoice. If you are going for there are different agreements that you can make with Microsoft. If you have some agreements, you will get only one bill. But if you are a small company, you own 4-5 subscriptions, then you will get 4-5 invoices related to those subscriptions, right? So you have the payment details you can set up here. You have cost management, where you can see how much cost being consumed. Again, this cost you saw at management group level also. You will have it at subscription level also. You will have it at um, resource group level as well. Now you have a monitoring also here, where you can see what is happening inside this one. But basically, this is, again, as I said, it is just a folder. You will not do anything inside this one. Now inside this one, you will create actual resource groups. Now this is a management group. Inside this you have subscription, and inside this you will actually go and create the resource groups. That is what you are seeing it here. So now inside this you will see multiple resource groups that I have created. Right now here you will create one more resource group, like the way that you see in this example. You see, this is what we spoke about, management group, where you will have a governance scope. Then we spoke about the subscription, where you will have a billing scope. And this is what we just discussed. We are going to discuss, which is resource group. Resource group is again like a folder, inside which you will have the containers. Now, why do we need these many folders? These many folders, you have one reason, as in there is a reason for each one of them. When we talk about management group, you have a governance control. When we talk about subscription, you have a billing control. When we talk about resource group, you will have a control related to your resources, like the way you want to manage project within your one organization. Let's say we spoke about QA. Let's say we spoke about production subscription, development subscription, but within the development subscriptions also you can have multiple projects coming up. You might be having project A, project B, project C. So you can just call it as resource group project A, resource group project B, resource group project C, and then within that project you will have the resources that I will show you. So that is how it is, as in you can create resource group for individual projects, individual entities, individual resources, all that. So I'll just take you to the resource group, what resource group will do. So resource group, as I mentioned, you can consider it as a project folder again, right? All the files for one project grouped, and they are named, as in you can see this one. This is one project inside which I have all the services that are related to this project, as in this project, or else you can call it as order system. Now, why do we need it? If you remember, I spoke about governance for management group, billing for subscription. Similarly, if you think of resource group, why do we need resource group? It will help you in proper deployments. It will help you in scaling. If you want to scale all of these things, right, you can just scale them all together, as in you can just take them and you can deploy them all together in a different service, in a different subscription, or else a different in the same subscription as well. But you cannot take a subscription and you can deploy all the resources. That is not how it works. uh, Only resource groups you can take and deploy, then decommission together. As in, if you have 100 resources, right, you can deploy one by one, you can delete one by one. But if you want to delete all of them, you just go ahead and delete this whole folder or else this resource group, then you can delete altogether. Again, billing is something, as I mentioned, it is common for everyone, everything. And same with RBAC as in the permissions. If I have to show you one example here, I'll just go here. Again, I will just take you from the management group. This is my management group, this is subscription, and this inside this I have this folder which is resource groups, and I have so many resource groups. If I open any one resource group, right, any one sample here, I'll just open any one, this one. Inside this is where you will see the resources. This is the hierarchy. So this is where you will see the resources. Now, what kind of resources I have deployed? I have deployed a logic app, a service bus, a storage account. Similarly, you can deploy virtual machines, all those things. And again, you will see the same things that what you see here, but you will see them here as well. But few more here you will see. One thing you can see here is automation. As I mentioned, you can export this template and you can import it into some other system, as in some other subscription, so that they all get created at once. You can delete this resource group, all will be deleted, but you will not be able to delete a subscription here, so that you can delete everything here. That is not the case. You can delete a resource group, you can delete every resource within that. And then you have certain things here, like the cost, whatever you see it here. If you want to look at the cost for this particular folder, you can see it here. Similarly, the monitoring, if you want to look at the monitoring, you can see it here. So that is how the hierarchy is. This hierarchy is very important when you are working with anything, as in if you are a very beginner level, right? So with that, that covers the basic, as in the hierarchy. Then this governance is primarily on this governance is primarily on how do you, as I very initially I mentioned, when people are moving from traditional to cloud side, right, there was some questions on it, as in how do we move it, because it is not secure. But the governance is there. You have RBAC roles, policies, tags, resource logs, so that no one will be able to delete anything, no one will go and deploy anything that they want to deploy, who owns what, those kind of details, with whom we want to share those details, everything has been covered, controlled now. So that is comes under governance now. uh, yeah, so those are the items on the, as in basic things on the Azure side. I'll just move to integrations. So integration side, we have some services. So these are some services that I will cover. I'll just go to demo directly, as in these services I'll create and I'll just explain you what they're actually, so that we'll be on time. But before that, I'll just pause for a minute just to check if there are any questions. Perfect. Where can we connect PySpark in Azure account? Now, PySpark, See again, 1 minute. We have few more questions. Regions will be available for both IaaS and PaaS services, right? Is it possible? Can you send this recording link? Okay, recording will be available in the YouTube. You can check YouTube channel for that. And then regions will be available both IaaS and PaaS, right? Yes, true. Again, it is not for IaaS and PaaS. Regions are regions. You go and opt for a service. The service you opt for it, they will be in that. As in, if you go for a virtual machine, you will get that virtual machine. If you ask for a PaaS service, let's say if you ask for a web app, there will be again a virtual machine. In that virtual machine, they have deployed something. As in, some machines for Python, some machines for .NET, some machines for Golang, something like that, and they will give you that one part of the server. That is how it is. So regions will be there for all these, all PaaS, IaaS, and all that. Maybe this is not a relevant, as in not a right question. You can think of region will be there, within that servers will be there, and you are using their services. The service can be IaaS service or PaaS service. Uh, can you explain RBAC? Yeah, I will do that. Where can we, guys? If needed, maybe I will stretch for half an hour because I have to cover that because some questions are coming up. PySpark, again, this is one more software kind of thing, right, Rakesh? So it's again based on your requirement. Based on your requirement, as in, if you are using a virtual machine, you can go and deploy on the virtual machine, or else you have a data related clusters. You can create clusters also here. I believe PySpark. Do we have something like PySpark? Yeah, here you have. To be frank, I haven't explored this one, Azure Data Services, but you can create PySpark. I could see something called PySpark here. I believe you can. Again, if you look at this one, right? I'll just talk about this one. But if you look at this one, okay. So the one that you see this icon, right? This means that is being provided by the other company. So this PySpark, when I clicked on this one, it is saying K Cloud Hub. So this company is providing for you. Now what they are providing, they are basically providing a virtual machine inside which they just install the software and they're just giving it to you. The same thing you can also do. You can just install a virtual machine, and within that machine, you just install a PySpark. But I don't think there is a specific service for it. As in a PaaS service for it. You have to go for a virtual machine. You have to, and that machine you can use it in your services. As in, you just saw here your data bricks, right? Within that data bricks, obviously you will use those PySpark clusters. So those clusters you can just integrate with this, and you can just use those clusters here. The same thing, if you have them on premise also, you can connect from Azure data bricks to your on premise, and you can use them. So you can use them on cloud also, and you can use them on your on premise also. uh, Main usage, resource group main usage, I will cover. RBAC means role based access control, Saikiran. That means basically you are giving control. Role based means access control, as in you are giving access based on the role. Now what are the roles that are available? You will have many roles available. Just to give some example, RBAC, you can assign it at management group level, you can assign it subscription level, you can assign it at a resource group level, or else you can assign it at a resource level, as in on this hierarchy you can assign it at this level, this level, this level, and this level. So I'll show you any one level, any one you can open. As in, you can open subscription, resource group, anything. When you open, right, I just opened one resource here, which is service bus. Now you will see it here, IAM. When you open this IAM, here is where you will assign the RBAC roles. You will not see it here as RBAC. They are just calling it as access control, which is RBAC. AC means access control. They are not adding here RB. Now when you go and click here, you are just assigning a role. R means role. Now the role that you want to assign, as I mentioned, you have job related roles. At times you want to give access only to storage accounts. At times you want to give access only to Cosmos DB, only to SQL Server, only to storage accounts. So that level of granular permission also you can give. Let's say you want to give only to containers, you want to give only to Kubernetes services, you want to give, just name it. You will just find it here. Let's say you want to give virtual machines only access to virtual machines, you can give it. Like this is saying contributor. Again, there are, basically you will see three primary roles: contributor, reader, and owner role. Owner means highest privilege. He can do anything as in he can add someone else also into the system. Contributor means again he can do anything, but he will not be able to add someone else. He can create resources, he can delete resources, he can update the resources, he can change the resources, he can export the resources, he can delete the resources. All that things he can do contributor, but he will not be able to give access to the resources to the other users. Only owner can do that. And reader role means basically, reader means you can only be able to read it, as in there is a virtual machine, you can just go and see that virtual machine, but you will not be able to delete it, you will not be able to update it, you will not be able to do edit anything. So similarly, again, that contributor reader, you will see it for all services as well. For example, if I just go for a storage account, which is a very good example. Inside storage also, unfortunately, we have a storage blob queue and all that. Okay. Okay, seems like they have removed it. Okay. Well, but if you look at any role, right? Any role, when you open it, you will be able to see what that role can do. As in, you can, there are some operations that you see it here, as in read, write, delete, all those operations. So you can assign, let's say if you assign this role, right? This role, and then if you go to next, if you select one person, let's say you can select one person, one group, whatever you want. Let's say if I select this person here, so I select this person, and if I select this guy, now what I'm saying this person will have access to storage accounts, and he can do what operations? He can do all these operations that are being listed here. As in, he can read that, he can delete, he can change policies, he can look at the metrics, he can cancel the deployments, he can create containers, all those things. He can do the changes. So this is what, but he will not be able to create virtual machines because this is not related to virtual machines. So that level of granularity you can give. Again, conditions, you can assign more conditions if you want. Again, this is out of context now, as of now, but that is how it is. Now, if you go to role assignments, you will see what are the roles being assigned here also. So these are different roles assigned. So that, I hope that covers RBAC. As in, again, there are, if you look at RBAC, I can say it itself can take 2 to 3 hours, but I'm just giving a high level idea what RBAC is about. Again, the permissions, there are some permissions here. At times you can create your own permissions also. That also is a possible. You can just create a custom role. Custom RBAC role. So this is where you will find that how do we create a custom role. So basically, okay, so this document will help you what are the built-in roles that are available. I mentioned the contributor, owner, and reader, right? So you have a few more here, but yeah, so these are related to compute. Again, you will see it here related to storage. All that things are here. You can read on that one. What I'm just looking for a custom role. How can I create a custom role? I think that is the way. Okay, I don't have access. Interesting. Do I see here something like custom? Okay, roles and administration activities. Okay, so here I will get an option. I don't know why I'm not able to. Okay, so there are again some limitations. This level of premium connection is needed to create a custom role, but here is where you can create custom role. When you create a custom role, right, you can give whatever you want. When you open any role here, right, you will basically see what level of permissions, what kind of roles it has. So all those details you will find it here. Yeah, so these are some roles that can be available, that can be given. Again, you can define this. This is all into infra side. Good question. No problem. It's for fine for now. Resource group main usage. I will cover that. 1 minute. Can you please explain a simple workflow that need to be created for new webflow post? Web apps is not in scope, Akila, but I'll see. But if you want, I can give you some art as in articles. Definitely. Resource group main usage, as I mentioned. Again, resource group is like a container. If you look at this, these are all the some of the benefits, as in you can scale all together. You, if you want to deploy all of them together, you can deploy. Just give some example. Again, I might not have listed everything here. I believe in this, guys, as in when you search, right, when you ask questions and when you go and search yourself, you will get so many things. You can explore so many things. So basically, yeah, so this is one good thing that you can have, that can happen, like the resource logs. So this is something that you can do at resource group level only. That means if people are let's say if I open any one resource group, this is my resource group, you can see it here, right? So these are all the advantages. Now if I go here, where is the setting? So these are all the things, locks. So I can create a lock here on this resource group, and I can say no one is allowed to delete this one. This is a lock that I have created for this resource group already. Now this, what it is saying, now I can create a lock here. I can create what type of lock? Lock as in read only lock or delete lock. Read only means people will not be able to delete anything. They will not be able to update anything. They can just read. Delete lock means they will not be able to delete anything, but they can able to update it. Now just to show an example, if I go and try to delete anything, right, even though I created those resources, it will not allow me to delete. The reason is it is been locked. Let me show you that. Yeah, as I said, you can delete the individual resources, but think of you having 100 resources here. Deleting 100 resources will be difficult. You can just click here and you can delete everything in one go. You can export them, all that things. Let's try to delete this. The error is showing up, and the error it is showing, please remove the lock. So it is saying there is a lock. You have to delete that lock, then only I will be able to delete it. Now ideally admins only will have access to delete this one. If I give you access, right, you will not be able to delete this one, because I, being the admin of my system, I can only delete this one. Now if you give this access to you, right, to you, you will not be able to delete anything. As in you will be able, you actually will not see this option here itself. So that is one advantage, as in few of the advantages they are saying. So that is one advantage. uh, Templates and blueprints, again, as I mentioned, as in you can take everything here. You can just export all these resources in one go, and you can deploy it to other resources. How do we export it? As I mentioned, here you have an option called export. I called you IAC. When I'm talking about IAC, basically in Azure you will see ARM, Bicep, and Terraform. You can export this template and you can import it into other systems, as in into other subscriptions or else into other tenants also. So this thing, you just download it and you just import it into other system. Then you don't need to go and create one by one resource. All these resources will automatically get created. So that is one more advantage. You can export and import into other systems. So that is what they are saying. So it enables IAC. You can just export the ARM templates and import into other systems. Now when do we generally export and import? When do we generally export import means you have multiple environments. You have development, QA, production. Now you have to maintain everything same in all the environments, right? Then you generally export this and import into other system. That is what actually they are saying also here. So you can just use all these rules, roles, policies, everything across the various environments, ensuring the consistency. Again, the other thing you get is monitoring. Again, all the resources you can monitor at one place. You have a monitoring section here, all these monitoring section. With this you can monitor all the resources that are available in one resource group. Then RBAC is something that I covered. ARM is something that I've covered. Templates is same thing. They are just saying the same thing multiple times. Monitoring, again, I don't know why they are saying the same things. These are some advantages. I'll just open one more. just to give some more so that you will understand it. There is no meaning to this. The question was what is the advantages? They are saying something else. Let's open this. Okay, one more advantage that I personally, as in companies, has been using and we generally use it is, see, we at times this tagging functionality is very important. So you have to have proper tagging, proper governance comes under this one. As in, you should know why this is created. This resource group is created, but why it is created. Otherwise, as I mentioned, I have seen 5,000 plus subscriptions. Like in that, you will have some thousands of resource groups. Now you will never get to know why this was created, when was created, what is the purpose of it, who own it, can we delete it or not. So all those details you will not get to know. Who is going to pay for it. So all those details you will not get to know. So to get those details, you have to have something called tags. So where you will add what is this environment, whether it's a development environment, whether it's a production environment, who own it. So you can just give some email ID here, some ID here. I don't know how this, whose ID is this? Okay, fine. And then you can add who will be support contact. If the owner is not there, maybe I can just call it as abc.com. So if something is needed, they will contact this person. Then cost center is something like to which team this has to be as in the billing has to go to which team. Other details, whatever the details that you can think of, you can add it here. Again, just to show you some example, basic tags in Azure. This, as I mentioned, this is just a metadata that is what they are saying, and you can have environments. And let me see if they have some examples. Okay, we don't have examples. Good. Okay, yeah, I have seen this one also, like how critical it is, as in this is critical or okay to delete, or those tags also you can add. Interesting. I don't see people using it effectively. Okay, so here are some examples. Like the environment I mentioned, application, like which project for, as in for which project, which service this resource group was created, who is the owner, what is the cost center, how critical it is. These are few. There are few more. Again, this is just a metadata. Whatever the details you want to add, you can add it. So that is how it is. Okay, so I hope that answers your resource group question, but you can explore it, Akhila. You have a number of reasons. Can you explain? Yeah, I will do that. Can applications are maintained in resource group? Yes, every resource will reside inside resource group only. To answer this for everyone, guys, any resource that you see will always reside inside resource group only. Every resource, be it API, database, logic app, service bus, so storage account, whatever will reside inside, all the resources will reside inside resource groups. Resource groups will be inside subscriptions will be under management groups. I hope that answers your question. Okay, with that we'll move on. Again, guys, don't worry, I will answer all your questions. Whoever want to have questions, please feel free to stay back. I will be there for 1 hour also. I will be there. Again, we'll try to cover these services. Few of the services I mentioned, right? I will cover few of the services. Now, why till now we have covered Azure. Now within that Azure, you have multiple things. I mentioned integration services. You have infrastructure as a services, PaaS services, database as services, um, SaaS services. There is something called integration as services, as in iPaaS. They call it as iPaaS, integration platform as a service. So under that, basically these things comes: iPaaS services, Logic App Service Bus, Event Grid, Databricks, not Databricks, sorry, Azure Data Factory, Azure Functions. All those things will come up. We'll cover this. Now, why we calling them as integration services, iPaaS services? I will cover them. But before that, you need to know what is integration services. Why do we need an integration? Now, integration is nothing but, think again, this example only. Think you are in an airport. Um, you just go to the what mm, like the ticketing counter, right? You go and get your onboarding ticket. Now when you take the ticket, you go to the checking center, as in to your security point. There you will just show your ticket, right? But in the system also they will check, like whether this guy with this number with this ticket has been there or not. So they will check and then they will pass you from the security check. Now how do they get, as in you have registered your ticket here, but how do they get it here? Now from here also, when you go to onboarding side, again you might not see it in India, but when you go to uh, more places, right, they will check when you are onboarding also, right? They will have their device where they will also check, okay, so this guy has this ticket number, this seat, and from here to here, as in this is the um, as in the date, um, the source and the destination all will be there on your ticket, and will be there on their system that they own. Maybe it might be a hand tool also. On the hand tool also they will have. Now how do they get it? As in you have registered here, but you are getting it here. Similarly at bagging, you are bagging also. You when you are booking your ticket, you just hand over the luggage also, right? So there also they will attach some sticker on that one. So that stickered one, they will get into the baggage system also. There will be separate department also who will be maintaining these baggages, where they will again scan those things, and they will. Now how do they talk to each other? That is where the integration comes in. So basically, if you take a example also, when you go for Amazon also, um, in Amazon also you will have all these different things, right? A payment system, an inventory system, a shipping team, fraud detection team, email system team, all those teams. There will be different. You go and order one thing, but it will go to your inventory team also. It will go to your logistic team. It will go to your delivery team. Everyone will get to know, okay, this is the order number, this is its delivery location, this is the product, this is the cost I need to get. So those are some details. Now how do they all connected to each other? They all connected to through integration systems. So what basically integration means, you will have things happening at one place will be given to all other systems also. Like the way here you are booking the ticket, and it will be passed to all other systems. So here we are passing it to security team, onboarding team, baggage team. Similarly, for an amazing Amazon case also, you buy through the portal, but that data be integrated with other systems. Now other systems can be payment system team, inventory team, shipment team, fraud team, email team, all that team. So how does that integration work? That integration works with some systems. That systems are these systems in Azure. So in Azure, again, I'm particularly stretching, this is on Azure only. You can think of other systems also. Maybe Amazon might be using other services. Maybe your Uber might be using other services. Your Air India may be using other services behind the screen, or else maybe this services might be, right? So basically you will have some services. Again, not necessary you have to use all the services. Some services you will use wherever are needed. So we'll cover those. So I'll just run through one by one service. So we have Logic Apps, Service Bus, Event Grid, API services, Azure Functions. I mentioned Azure Data Factory also. So there are different services. So Logic Apps, you can think this as a drag and drop kind of thing, as in you don't need to write any code. uh, I don't know how many of you use it, Canvas is like a tool. You just drag things and you can build, right? So I'll just show you a quick glance of Logic Apps, how they look. So you will understand it, and we'll be building it, no worries guys. So this is how a typical Logic App will look like. Open. So you will have just here those options, like which option you want. You just pull and you just put it here. Now what are the options you have when an HTTP is triggered? Process the order, process order after escalation, send an email, send an escalation email, process order without review. So there are some conditions. So this is how the Logic App will look. As in you will have some options, you just drag it and you will place it. Now what options you will have? Those options, and these individual blocks are called connectors. As in not connectors, they are called as actions in fact, and you are connecting them one by one. And while connecting, you have some conditions, you have some loops. You will be checking, you will have some switch cases, like if this is happening, do this. If this is happening, do this. If this is true, then only do this. Otherwise, don't do it. If there is an escalation, send an email. If there is no escalation, process this order. So something like that. like the way you when you order something and on a Swiggy, and when you go and start chatting with it, right? Initially a bot will come and it will ask a number of questions, and then it will ask you, do you want to transfer this ticket to this team, or else do you want a refund, or else do you want to escalate it? If you go for ask and refund, then it will just go and refund you, it will not escalate, something like that. It is all based on condition, right? So this is one example. So the example that you see here on my screen is basically a laptop employment onboarding, onboarding, employee onboarding. So as I mentioned, you will have connectors, as in you can connect to multiple systems. Like the way in the example we saw, sending an email, it can be uploading a file to a file system, uploading data to SAP systems, or as to Salesforce system, SharePoint, or sending an email using Twilio, so sending a notification to WhatsApp, whatever. There are a number of connectors, we'll see them. Then as I mentioned, it is a visual designer, you just drag drop, that's it. You don't need to write any kind of code. Again, a low code is needed, I'll show you where that code is. Built-in retries, if something fails you can retry multiple times. You have a consumption based pricing. Again, there are a number of ways how do you deploy a logic apps. You can go for a standard logic apps, or else a consumption logic app. Consumption means you pay for what you are consuming. That means when you run it, you have to pay it. If you are not running, you will not pay for it, it will be there. But if you go for a virtual machine, right, you have to pay it though you are using it or not. So that is how it is there. That is what the pricing model is here. Now a typical example is employee onboarding. You have a HR team where they will insert a record, it will create everything, as in it will create a M365 account, it will create a laptop request for you, it will send out an email, onboarding link, some recordings that are needed, schedule one, day one orientation, everything can be automated with this flow, as in this, whatever the flow that we are going to think of. The second service you can think of is your service bus. You can take this analogy, you can think of a courier service. When you go and purchase anything on Amazon, right, like the way you are purchasing, there are millions of people purchasing on Amazon. Now Amazon is not serving you only, right, it is serving million of people. Now when it is serving of million of people, it is very difficult to have one to one conversation. So it has to run in async mode. Async means you talk to it, I will talk to it, um, some other 10 people are talking to it. So what it will take all our details and it will put it in a queue. This is the queue that you see it here. Now when someone is ordering, when someone is requesting something, they will all go here, like one request, M1 request, M2 request, M3 request, and all will be processed parallelly. So for example, here in this case, you placed an order, so those all orders are here, and at the other side can be anything again. I'll show you what that other system, but think of it as an receiver. You will be placing orders, it will be going in a pipe, and those pipe, some other side, there will be a consumer. But if the system is not there, right, think if the system is not here, if the system is not here, sorry, this if this system is not here, then what will happen? Whatever the orders you are placing, they will directly go from here to here, as in from this system to the system that you are connecting. Then this system will also have some problems with it, as in you are making, this system was built to handle only 10 requests, but you are sending 100 requests, you are sending 1000 requests, million requests. Then this CPU, this core system will not be able to handle all those. So you have to go for a queue system. But at times you have placed an order, but the system was not able to process it, so you need to retry it. Now there might not be a process in your system that it can handle the retries, so that retries can be handled by the system itself. So that is why basically you need a queue in between. Now is this the only system that is available? No, there are some third party systems also. Apache Kafka you have, from the Azure side also you have Azure Service Bus, RabbitMQ you might have heard. You have Azure queues also, you have Azure event hubs also. There are different services. Now basically you will have a sender, you will have a receiver, in between you will have a queue, inside which you will have the messages coming up. Now what are the advantages? You have a reliability. That means even though some system is down, even though this system is down, all that will be coming and sitting here, and when the system is up, it will take one by one and process them. So that is why they are calling it as reliable. Retry means if one request failed for some reason, it will be there in the queue. You can retrack it and reprocess it. Decoupling, as I mentioned, this system is decoupled. Today you build this system. Tomorrow you want to change it to some other system. You can build one more system and you can send from here to that system. You don't need to do any logical change. So that is what decoupling means. Your sender is different, your receiver is different. And then dead lettering means if something is happening bad, you can just send it to some other queue. So that is what dead lettering means. So this is about the service bus. We'll see them here in the live. Event grid is one more similar service, similar to the service bus queue, but the only difference is here in the service bus, the sender is sending something, right? The receiver has to process it. As in, when the order comes in, you have to take that order. When there is a written order, you have to consider that and refund them. So there is, the sender is expecting something from the receiver. So sender will send it and receiver will take the action on it. But in the service event grid, right, you will never know. As in, on the receiver side, here also you will have the same thing here, but we are just calling it as publisher and subscriber. So publisher will publish the events. Even in the name it is there. Let's say some event happened here. Some event, you can take it off, you can take as an a fire sensor in your company. So the fire sensor will be there, which will be continuously sending the events to this one. So here they are saying IoT device, right? That is nothing but a sensor. So it will be continuously sending events to this device. Now, on the other hand, it doesn't need to take action on it. Like the way we have seen it in the order. When an order comes in, you have to process it. When a refund comes in, you have to refund it. But here, when you send a signal, right, it doesn't need to be processed the other side. But few signals you have to take action. Let's say maybe every 10 seconds you are just sending a alarm saying that all is good, all is good, all is good. But at some time you might be saying, okay, there is a smoke happening. So that event you have to take care. At that case, your subscriber will take action. As in this side, it will take action. So the only difference is, as in this system, you generally use it in your e-commerce applications or the applications, your quick commerce, or else your Uber, Ola, all those things, where the sender and the receiver has to take action on both sides. And this ones you will basically use it with event based. As in, some event happened, that events you just want to capture it, but you, now the action you want to take it or not, that's a different thing. This is very similar to your WhatsApp. As in, you just post a message in a group and it will just get notified to the other team. That means uh, when you do a one-to-one WhatsApp communication, right, you are expecting the other person also to reply to you. But when you do that in a group, you don't expect the other person to reply to it. You just post it. So maybe if you tag someone, then they will obviously respond. But when you post it, right, it will just a notification to the other team. They will not respond. So that is how it is. And where do we use it? We actually use it in IoT devices very much. As in, where you need where every millisecond or every second, let's say in an oil gas company itself, when oil is moving, then you will have sensors around those pipelines, whether there is any a detection of like a cracks or something like that. It will keep on monitoring whether how is the flow, all that it keeps on monitoring. I recently saw, as in not recently, I have I directly haven't worked with that project, but I have seen a client where they own a buffalo farm, and they have sensors on their cows ears, and they will check how the cow is moving, what kind of food it is eating, what kind of temperature it is on. So those kind of details are also captured by IoT devices. That I found interesting. That I don't know how when it will come to India. So in foreign countries or in well developed countries, they are measuring that level of frequency also. Even in your cricket, the bat frequency, everything will be every second or every millisecond, every minute, they are capturing. All that data will send to a grid here. It might not be a Azure grid, but some grid where some action might not be needed. So that is where you will see. Now, when do we use it? As I mentioned, basically you will have millions of events that are coming up. So then you generally use it. Azure functions, again, this is very similar to your logic apps, but here you generally write a code. That means you will have something happening, you take action. As in, let's say you placed an order, you'll have all the logic inside your code, and then you just process it, but you have it in a code basis. This also comes with a pay as you go model or else a standard model. As in, a standard model means you just purchase it, you have to pay for it. But a pay as you go model means when this runs, then only you pay. Here they are just saying a car example. That means you just go and opt for it, as in you just order a car, you use it for some time, and you just pay for it. You don't need to pay for all that car. Again, this is event driven. That means when something happens, as in you just call it, or you just put a message in a blob, or else you can connect it with event grid, all that. So you just look at this example itself. So I just mentioned the service bus, right? Service bus. Here the receiver can be anything. It can be a logic app, it can be Azure function also. That means when a message is put here, you can take that and you can action on it. So that is similar with the event grid also. So that is what you are seeing here. So when an event is happened, that means when you put a file in a blob storage, when you put a message in your event grid, when you put a message in your service bus, so then this will get auto filed. Now this is event driven. Auto scaling means this is serverless, right? Serverless means doesn't mean you don't own server or there is no server. It is just the server is also maintained by the Microsoft team. So n number, let the events be happen, as in let the orders be flow. Like today you have 10 orders, tomorrow you have 100 orders, we'll scale to you, as in that is what they are promising. As in, based on the orders coming in, we'll process them based on the order coming in, based on event happening. Order is an event to me. So based on that event, I will auto scale. I will scale from 0 to hundreds. That is what they are promising in seconds also. And when I'm idle, I will just go back to 0 is what they are saying. It is polyglot. That means you can write your code. As I mentioned, this is a code platform. You can write code in C#, Python, different platforms they are supporting. Common use cases, again, whatever the use cases that you saw with logic apps, that all can be done with your functions also. At times, few connectors might not be available. If you look at logic apps are primarily based on connectors, right? You have Salesforce connectors, app connectors, SharePoint connectors. But at times, there are some connectors might not be available with the logic apps. That times you might need to write some code. That is where you generally use this Azure functions. Otherwise, if something is doable with Azure logic apps, you generally go and use that Azure logic apps. That is how it is. I will just skip this APIM. I don't think we'll be able to cover this today. But feel free, as in to explore this. This is also very good service. Again, this is one example. I'll just cover this. How generally happens when a customer place an order in a system. So customer generally place an order using some portal. Consider it as an this time we'll take Myntra. So on Myntra, they will just place an order. They'll select some goods there, a clothing, a laptop, something. They place an order. The order will come to APIM first. Now, APIM is basically, consider it as a gateway. Again, let's go here. So you will have a mobile device, web application, or else a partner. A partner can be any person who is consuming your APIs. So they will generally connect to this system API gateway, and then they will flow to the other systems. Now, why this gateway is needed? Now, gateway is needed to check your authentication, to check your rate limiting, to check for your analytics also, for your monitoring also. Now, what is this authentication? So you want to make sure the person who is logged in, who is making the request, is a right person. You cannot give access to everyone to your APIs. Behind the screen, everything is APIs. Let's say you are placing an order, right? That will be taken care by the team. The team, how do they take care? They will take it through APIs. Now, if you are new to APIs, it would be difficult to explain. But basically, API is nothing but there is some service which will be taking your order, looking what details you have entered, and putting it into the system like a database. So, but before taking that order, right, you need to check whether the order coming in is a valid order or not, like it is coming from a valid person or not. That is why when you are placing any order on Amazon or any other service, they will ask you for first to log in. Otherwise, if it is unauthorized, right, anyone can go and place orders. I myself will go and place some 1,000 orders on Amazon, and I will trouble Amazon. But Amazon want it, who is placing it. That is where this authentication will comes in. They will check for auth to JW keys. This is all again different ways of authentication. Again, rate limiting. Rate limiting means you will not allow person to hit multiple times. There should be some limit, as in you can place some 20 orders, 30 orders. That's it. Will not allow you multiple times. Just take a classic example of IRC. IRCTC, you will not be able to place multiple tickets, right? There is some limitation when you are placing. So that is rate limiting concept. This is again not related to APIM. It is a common concept across software. You will see it in every place. Monitoring, you will be able to take the logs also. Like this is a block here, but inside this block you have so many things. APIM again, whatever the services here you see here, right? Those I'm just covering on a high level, but when you deep dive into it, that itself will cover 2 to 3 hours a session. So again, this is one block inside which you will have all these things that will be covered, as in you can capture the logs also, you can capture the analytics also. But basically consider it is a gateway, or else a security check, security person, where he will be checking your identity card, how many times you are going in and out. He will basically monitor you, all that things, right? Okay, is that the example, that analogy we have here? Yeah, that's the analogy we have it here. Perfect. Okay, so that is what a customer place an order. It will go to Logic App. Logic App will validate whether it's a right order or not, and then it will place to a service bus. And from this service bus, it will move to the function app. Now, this function app can be one function app or multiple function apps. So, what the function app will take care of it? It will take your order. It will ask the delivery team to pack this order. It will ask the inventory team to say, okay, this is the consumption. This person has purchased a laptop, please update our inventory. You can just reduce our inventory, or else it can go to a reporting. So there can be a number of consumers here also. So this is here in this case the producer, or else the producer is a Logic App, the subscriber here is a function app. And then function app, you can send it to ERP systems. It can be ERP systems or some other systems. Now from the service bus also, you can send out an email also saying that your order has been taken and we'll deliver it in on so on so date. So that is how a general online system works. But as I said, you can explore it more, as in you can just go and search for, these are some common use cases, guys. So one example that I just showed is an e-commerce uh, application, right? Similarly, a banking risk report, they will have they will be keep on monitoring their systems every time, as in is there any fraud, malware, or fraud has been identified into their systems. They will have some system which will keep on generating the events, like they will be collecting the events and it might be sending it to event grid that can be connected with the function app. This is the as in every second you will be collecting that data. So this is one use case where you can use this event grid and Azure function. Similarly, in healthcare, they are using this one, like a lab reports, they can just collect it to a Logic App. Again, they can integrate it with some other systems, AI systems also, and you can just check whether the report that's been shared, how it is, like how much someone need to, as in today, if you get a report, you generally go and check it, right? You don't need to do it with AI today in use, as in you can just send it to AI and it will just give you the details. As in, if you ask it to give me the what exercise, how can I do, what kind of exercise I need, what kind of food I need to take, it can give you all those details. So that will also be an use case that you can build up. Manufacturing, as I mentioned, sensor related things. In logistics also, you can use this one, as in here they are calling it as APIM. Yeah, I have seen it. As in, one use case that I can think right away is insurance domain. So when you talk about insurance also, right, you need to track the vehicle details, as in where the vehicle is moving, any accident happen. This is happening in again, well developed companies, guys. I've seen people, as in the insurance companies, right, they will insert a device when you go and purchase an insurance from them. They will install a device into your car, into your vehicle, and they will keep on tracking your vehicle, where the vehicle was, where it is yesterday, where it is today, and whether accident happened or not. So based on that also, they are giving the insurance, as in they are paying the insurance amount. So those are some typical use cases that you will see. We'll create a demo now, as in with these services, and then we'll just move. But before that, let me see if there are any questions. Okay. Okay, I'll cover this, Akila. If you can stay back for 10-15 minutes, that would be helpful. I can create one web app, I can host you, and I can show you. But I need your time for that, because I have to cover the integrations thing. Okay, so Any questions, guys? Please feel free to raise your hand. Okay. Azure service, yes, that's true. Azure service bus is an offering from Azure, but RabbitMQ is from some other provider. Yes, Saikiran. If you have any questions, you can raise your hand. I can just take questions. Wait for 30 seconds more, guys. Okay. Okay, so we have okay, these are some questions. Fine. Thank you. uh, we'll move to some demo now, guys. Please focus for 10-15 minutes. I'll try to wrap it up. So sorry, I think I covered few things, but okay, so we'll cover starting from the beginning. We'll start with the resource group creation. Whatever we have discussed till now, right, you will see it all live now. So management groups subscriptions, I mentioned, when you go and create one free trial, right, you will get a subscription for you. So I'm not going to show you management group and the subscription. I've shown you how to create management groups and where those are, but I'll start with resource groups. I'll start with creating a resource group. Okay, so when you go and create, again, you can select it from here, search for it, create new resource group. So it will ask you inside which subscription you want. You see, inside which subscription you want to create the resource group, right? That is what we were discussing. A resource group will reside inside subscription. Now, resource group name. This is one more good thing that you need to know when you're working for any company, guys. So again, randomly going and giving names doesn't make sense. I can go and, where is that? Okay, I can go and give any name. I can just call it as ABC. This is not a right practice, to be frank. So there is one good article that maybe I would suggest you to go through this when you are working for any company, right? Any company. And this is the best practice that's been used across. And we have policies. We have policies which will check these naming convention also. If the company can assign a policy saying that if it is not in this pattern, please don't create the resource. I've seen that cases also. I hope we'll cover few things related to policies also, but yeah, let's see. These are some naming conventions. Okay, so if you look at this guy, they are saying for Azure AI search, you can use this one. So search, what is the, okay, so this is the format they are saying. So you can start with search, and you can use workload name, application name, project name, and then environment name. So you have to define that naming convention, what convention you want. Now, is this the only way you have to use? No, not necessarily. You have to define yourself. This is, they are just giving one format, one example for you. So this, for the resource group, they are saying, what is the resource group? Do they have something for resource group? Okay, so they are saying, okay. So they are for resource group, they are saying RG, use RG. For virtual machine, they are saying use VM. ST, I don't know what this is for. App, I think this is for application. They are saying app. Similarly, for environment, you can use this one. For regions, you can use this one. Again, for instance count, you can use this one. Okay, so now, okay, so this is what they are saying. So this is, they are giving using virtual machine to deploy a SQL server. This is a test environment, and this is my first instance, second instance, right? So this is the naming convention that you also supposed to follow, as in best to follow. And this is the different naming conventions that different people follow, as in your workload name, environment name, application name, what is the resource instance. So here they are giving the resource name at the end. You can follow at the beginning also, right? So there are different ways how you can create. This is one more way. Here resource type, which is pip. Pip means public IP. What is the workload, application name, environment, region, and then the instance. So there are different ways, right? So you can also suggest your company that this is the best practice to follow. So for me, I generally follow resource group aged RG, because I know this is Azure and RG for resource group. And then for what purpose I am creating. let's say if this is I'm creating for workshop today, I'll just call it as workshop, or else I'll just call it as WRK, followed by what kind of environment, which region I want. Let's say if I want in central India, I want it in different, let's say let's use East US today. Again, region selection is also very important. There are some reasons why we select one region over the other. Let me select East US 2 for now, and then I'll just call it, I think this is more than sufficient. I'll not create one more instance, or else let's create one more instance. And then you can create tags. As I mentioned, you can create tags from here also, or else you can create it later also. So let's create it now for now. So it is just asking me to preview. I can just go ahead and create. Okay, the resource group has been created. I got a notification. I can click from here, and I will be landed on this resource group. So this is my resource group that I just now created. Now this resource group is inside this subscription, and this subscription is inside my MG management unit. Now inside this, I can create the resources. Now whatever the resources I want to create, I can create. Now when I click on create, right, you will see the marketplace showing up here. All the resources available will be shown up here. I have marketplace related ones also. Free trial ones, Azure services, some services that I get with benefit, right? So all those. So for now, we'll create one flow, the logic app flow, right? So I'll just go ahead and search for logic app. So this is my logic app. Again, you see there are n number of people created n number of things. Few are coming up from the different vendors. This is from VM company. This is from Microsoft. This is from Covia company. These companies, they build something SaaS service and they are just selling it. Mobis logic. Okay, fine. Let's not go to it. Let's create it. Okay, so pricing model, I mentioned you have consumption standard. We'll stick to consumption. Select. You have certain details. Again, for logic app, I use AZLAP hyphen. What is the purpose? Workshop, followed by which region? East US, followed by which instance? I can use this one. And then tags. If I want to add tags, I can add the tags. Otherwise, let's create it. Okay. So with this, what we'll do, create it. It will take some time. In the meantime, we'll create some parallel things also. Okay, so the demo I am interested to show now is Notepad. Let's move to Notepad. We'll create one very small one. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll create one storage account, STO storage account, and inside that we'll create something called blob. Okay, blob is nothing but a file, guys. Don't worry, a file. And then whenever we upload a file to this, you can call it as container. In fact, container, and inside that you will upload a blob. Blob is nothing but a file. When you upload it, right, we'll just trigger our logic app. We'll trigger our logic app and send that message to service bus. Okay, this is the flow that we are going to build. Now what is happening is there is a company, as in the company's audit team. What they will do, they will just upload a report. Whenever they upload a report, right, whenever they upload a report, we want to send a notification. So we'll just send a notification. Okay, now for the notification, we'll use one more service here. We'll see what service fits right here. Maybe we'll just use their logic app here also. So whenever a blob is uploaded, right, we'll trigger the workflow, and then we'll send it to service bus, and then we'll just send a notification to the team saying that, okay, there is a report that is available, please go and check it. Okay, so something like this we'll build. So to build this, what I need a storage account, I need a logic app, I need a service bus, I need one more logic app. That's it. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4 services. We'll try to build all those 4 services real quick. I'll be opening parallel. To give you some idea. In real time, as in companies, we generally don't go and create resources using portal. We have something called IAC. We create them through code, as in ML code. It can be bicep arm templates. With that code, a JSON code, you generally have the template. You generally go and use that template. As in that template, where do you get it? I already told you. Whenever you deploy a resource, right? When you go to resource group, right? You will get it here. Export. You will get it here. But there is some very minor bugs, as in this will not list you all the templates. So you need to know what is this. You should have idea. That is what an infra guy's responsibility. He need to know how ARM templates works, how Bicep works, how Terraform works, right? So here in this case, you will see whatever the range. Did I choose North Central US? Okay, fine. I think I selected North Central US, guys. That's fine. But this is logic app, and this is the type. For every type, you will have, for every resource, right? There is a type. So this type for a logic app, this is the type. This is the location I've selected. Similarly, if I go and now create a storage account, I'll just real quick create it. Storage account. Then I need a service bus. Then I need one more logic app. So storage account. So I need to create one storage account. Similarly, I need to create one service bus. Similarly, I need to create one more logic app. Okay. So storage account. This is for storage account. This is the as in these details we need to fill in. So for storage account, I generally follow AZSTR. Here hyphens underscores will not work. That is not allowed. So what we need to do, I'll just call it as workshop East US 001. Maybe I'll just mention reports, something like this. And rest of the things, I'll just select the default ones and we'll just create. There are some more options that are available. I mentioned each service itself will take a longer time. You have networking, you can enable security, you can create encryptions, you have data protections, all those are available. Each service will itself take a longer time. Okay, so this is fine. Then we, again, service bus is what I'm creating. This is asking me for resource group. Did it ask me for resource group? What resource group I selected here? Okay, we'll see it in preview. But here I need the resource group that I just now created, which is not this one. I just created this one. So this is the resource group. This is the subscription. Then the service bus. So service bus AZ SBNS. A service bus, basically a service bus will have a namespace. Within that, you will create queues. So I'll create that. So first thing is name. Sorry, what we call namespace. I think someone has asked about the rabbit MQ, right? This is very similar, guys. I think 001. And then pricing tier, you have different options here. You can choose whatever you want. Again, with the price, you will get the premium function features. So I'll just go with a basic one. And then rest of the things I mentioned, as I mentioned, you have the TLS version, authentication details, networking, how you want to expose it, whether it's a publicly, privately, you want tags, all those things you can create. And then I'll create one more resource group, which is my second end resource group, which is this one for my notification. So I'll just call it as AZ LAP notification logic app. Okay, I'll just call it with this name. Okay, this was the default one that I haven't selected. Okay, resource group, it picked about default one. So I have to select AZRG hyphen WRK. Okay, this is the subscription. This is the resource group. This is the logic name. Region, let it be Central US for now because my first one is on Central US. Let it be. and I'll just create it. Same for here also. For the namespace, I reviewed these details are correct. Let's create it. For the storage account, what is the, you see the resource group selected or ABC, which is not correct in my case. So I have to select AZRG-WRK. AZRG-WRK. So this is the one that I selected. And then I'll just go ahead and create this now. As in, if this is taking time, I'll just give you one thing. See this, you see here something is happening, validation in progress. What is this validation in progress means? This image. This image is what I was looking for. open image in new tab. Okay. Okay, so this is how basically it works. Okay, I think I collected some different language one. Fine. But you see, when you are actually requesting, right, this is the Azure portal. Right now, we are requesting through Azure portal. We are asking to create storage account, all those details through Azure portal. But I mentioned you can create it with other ways also. The one other way is Azure PowerShell. Other way is Azure CLI. You can use Azure SDKs. You can use REST APIs. Some other ways is you can use Bicep code. You can use Terraform. You can use Ansible. So there are other ways also how you can deploy. The only thing is you need to know how to code it, how to use the CLI, how to use commands, how to use Azure portal, how to use REST APIs, how to use SDKs. The only way. But once you call it right, this is what happening. As in you saw that progressing, right? What is happening is it will go to, when you make the request, it will go to Azure Resource Manager. This is internal. We don't see it outside. Here, what will be checking is it will check authentication. What I mentioned, someone asked about the RBAC. So it will check whether you are the right person to create the resource. If I have given the storage account permissions, I'm creating a virtual machine, it is not allowed. This manager is responsible for that one. When you make a request, it will check whether you have the permissions to create it. You are authorized person, you have the right roles to create it. And it will check the policies also. Policies as in, is it adhering to the policies, whether this resource is allowed to deploy in this region or not. I told you people are created policies on the naming convention. So it will check whether the naming convention given for this resource is valid or not. So all those validations will be checked by this ARM, Azure Resource Manager. So it will check if it is everything is good, right? Then when you click on create here, when you click on create, right, then actually it will go to the resources. Now whatever the resource you want to create, it will go. Well, if you want to create a SQL server, it will go, it will send it to this. If you want to create a web app, it will go here. Similarly, you have multiple resources. Is how the flow is. Yeah, as in I'm just giving you internal how it works. Okay, fine. So okay, deployment completed. What is being deployed? A service bus namespace deployed. Great. Then my Azure Logic app is also deployed. Perfect. Then what about my storage account? It is still in progress. We'll wait for a minute. Okay, so this is accepted, but it is not yet been deployed. Now, one more thing, I can go to this resource group. There was one more question. What is the advantage of resource group? This is one more advantage, guys. The person who has asked this, you can go and check what deployments has happened. You can click on this one and you can see all the deployments that been happened till date. As in, you can go back to past 1-2 years, 4-5 years data also. You can check at what time who deployed what. So all those details will be available here. Now you can click on that particular one and you can see what resources has been deployed, and you can get the template also, what template was used to deploy it. Though we have used Azure portal for it, but it creates template behind the screen. That is how Azure works. As in, though you are using Azure portal, right? Behind the screen, it will convert everything into ARM template and it will send it to the provider. So that is what it is. As in, that is what you see it here. Okay, perfect. With that, I hope my storage account also got deployed. I hope. Okay, so my storage account is also now ready. Now, only thing is we have all the resources. I'll show you the resources. This is my resource group inside which I have to have my 4 resources. These are my 4 resources. Now, only thing I need to do is I need to connect them. So how do I connect them? First thing, I want to trigger my workflow. I told you whenever some action happened, right? So you can come to Logic app, you can click on this edit, or else development portal, you can go to designer. If you remember, this is the same thing that I've shown you in one screenshot. I don't remember if I have that screenshot. Okay, so this is what I was talking about, drag and drop. You just need to drag and drop, that's it. Logic app, sure, this is what you see. Same thing what I was showing, and this is the same thing. Now here what they're doing, here they are just open one image, open. Okay, here what they are doing, when a record is updated. Now where this is, I don't know what the symbol, maybe Azure DevOps. Now, okay, whatever it is. Now when the record is updated, they are converting, they are transforming it to XML, registering into data mart, and then they are checking if action is required on that record or not. If yes, then they are creating some more record and they are sending a Slack post. As in, we use Teams, we use WhatsApp, we use Slack, right? So they are sending. If not, if some action is required, they are running some stored procedure. So this is on the SQL side, and then they are sending a notification. So this is one flow. The same thing we have it here. Now, any logic app have two things. One is a trigger, the other one is action. Trigger means on what I have to be triggered. As in, if something happens, I have to trigger it. Now here in this example, when a record is updated, it will be triggered. Now here in our example, we are saying when a blob is uploaded, as in when a file is uploaded. Now, when a file is uploaded to where? When a file is uploaded to a storage account, the storage account that we just created. So this one. Just open the storage account. So this is my storage account. So whenever someone upload a report to this one, it has to trigger and put it into service bus. So what I will do, I'll just open this blob service, and I mentioned a storage account need to have a container. So I'll create a container. So I'll call it as reports for now, a reports container, right? And people will be inserting or else uploading reports here. Again, in real time, no one will go and upload reports here. You will have a UI front end from where you will click on upload report, upload it, and some code will be there which will come and upload it here. Now consider you have that application, this one, and you are uploading it here. Now when you upload it here, you want to trigger this one, right? So you have to go and search for that trigger. I mentioned you have multiple trigger connectors, right? These are all connectors. So you can search, you name it, you will see it here, whatever the service you want. Now if it is not there, that means that service is not well matured, or it is not yet been here. At times, yeah, at times the service might not be here. Then at that time, I told you have to go for Azure Functions. Okay, so any service you can think of, you will see it here, guys. I don't know how many of you used Make. You have something called N8, and there are some other third-party similar kind of tools, very similar to that tool. This tool is also okay. So here in our case, see again, I told you can connect to SharePoint also. I can search for SharePoint. See, when someone upload a file to SharePoint also, I can trigger this one. It is not necessary that I need to use only Azure. If something happened in some other system, then also I can trigger this one. Okay, so for now, in our case, blob. So I will just search for blob. So when a blob is added, now it is saying blob. Okay, so blob. Now which blob? It is supposed to, we are supposed to tell it which blob it is. So I will just say it connector. So every time if a logic app has to talk to some other service, right, there has to be a connection. There has to be a connection. So that is why we need to create a connector. So I'll call it as str underscore connector. Okay, for now. And then how do you want to connect it? There are a number of ways. It depends on the provider. So here in this case, Azure Blob Storage provide different ways. So these are four to five different ways. You can use service principal, you can use certificates, keys, Entra ID, managed identity, all this. The simplest way for now is access keys. And then you have to enter your storage account name. So my storage account name is this one. This is my storage account name, right? So I'll just give this name. And then it is asking me for the key. It is asking me for the key. So I can get the key from here. When I go to storage account, securities, keys. So I can just take any one of this key. Okay. So what I need key. Copy this key. And then I can just paste it here. And then create. So this will create me a connection. And then I can select this storage account name. I can get the container now, the container that I created. And then additional parameters, if you want to add, you can add it. Otherwise, you can leave it. Right now, I have the now this will be triggered. How frequently you want to trigger, that is also you need to set. So I want to trigger it every 30 seconds because I have to clear this demo, right? So I want to run it every 30 seconds, but in real time, it can be 5 minutes, depend on how critical this is. If you have a reporting, maybe it can run for a day also, after 1 day also, right? Right. So with that, I have trigger ready. Now I have to add the action. So action is I have to send a message. So I have to send a message to service bus. Now I can search for service bus. Let's say if I have to use RabbitMQ, do I have it? Sorry guys, I don't have it. I think if I have to use it, maybe some other name, Kafka, or else if it is not there, as I mentioned, you have to use Azure functions. You can write. There should be some provider for Kafka. Fine. Okay, service bus is what I need to send. So I'll just search for service bus. And this is the service bus. I want to send a message. Send a message. That's it. So again, this is a third party, right? So I have to connect it. So SVR service bus connection. So every service I need to connect, I need to have a connection. So I need to connect with a connection string. So I'll go to service account, service bus, and then even before that, I first need to create a queue here, guys. Queues and topics, again, this is different concept, but consider I will create a queue because that is where I'm going to push my report. So what I will call it as lob, or else let's call it as report name. Reports queue, we'll call it as reports queue. Okay. And these are some of the functionalities or else some of the properties of it. So the queue is also ready. So inside a namespace, I have the queue, and to this queue, I will be passing it. So with that, I'll just go ahead and I need a key, right? So again, in the settings, shared keys, go for, oh, this is queue. I have to create a queue. If as in I can create a key for queue, or else I can take the master key, which is at the namespace level. Again, this is also configurable, as in what level of permissions you want to give, you can give it. I'll just copy this. Any key would work. And then I'll just go here and I'll just paste it here and create. Okay. So now I will give my key. Connection string is not in the right format. Okay. Okay. SVR bus. I need to give connection string. Sorry. I have given the key. This is not the one. I have to give this one. Connection string is something that I have to give, not the key. Okay. So this will work now. Okay. So the key is there. Now I will be able to see the queue that I have created, and I'm supposed to send the message. So these are some of the properties as I mentioned. So for now, I want to send content. What is the message that I want to send? The message that I want to send is I want to send the file name, as in whatever the file I'm uploading, right? I'm going to upload here. That file name I want to take it. So how do I get it? In Logic Apps, what happens is when you connect two actions, right, you will get the properties of the previous one. So here in this case, if I want to send a message, I can just click on here. I can enter that message. I can enter the file name, whatever the file name I want to. Let's say I'll just call it as report-001. But this is not the real case, because in real time the file name can be anything. How do I get to know the file name? The file name I will get to know once you upload it in the storage account. Once people upload it, I have to get it on the fly. On the fly, as in when someone upload it here, the file name I have to get. Now from where I will get it? I will get it from this action. Now to get it, what you have to do is you have to use something called dynamic expressions. So from here, so when you click on this, right, it will give you options. So list file names, list display name, list of last modified name, what is the file size. So some of the properties related to file, you will get it here. So what I'm interested, I want to get the display name. So I'll just get the display name, and that is the content I want to send. So let's save this now. And what we'll do, we'll just test it now. So we have completed till this, as in we have completed till this. Storage account we created, logic app we created, service bus we created. Now I'm going to upload a file to this blob, and we'll see whether the message is coming in this queue or not. The queue is here. So right now the queue is showing 000. We'll see whether the message is coming up here or not. Okay. So right now I don't see any messages. Active message is 0. So let's go and see. So the only thing that I'm going to do is I'll just upload a file into the reports blob. Okay. Reports container, sorry. So I'll just open one. Any one file. Which file we are interested? Any report? Do I have any report? Okay. For now, let's consider any Excel file. Okay. So this report I'm interested. Okay. So I just added it here, and let's just upload it. Once you upload it here, right? Oh, bigger file, 5 MB. Fine. So once you upload it here, as I mentioned, this has to be get auto triggered. Now where do you see it? When you go to overview, right? Here you will see the run history. So we have set the frequency as 30 seconds. So every 30 seconds it will keep on checking whether any file has been uploaded, whether any file has been uploaded, any file has been uploaded. So we just need to wait for 30 seconds. Now after 30 seconds, right, you will see it here, the action. So it is saying failed. We'll see the reason for failure. The important thing is it is triggered. That is important. So when you upload it, this is triggered. The same way, when you place an order, this will trigger and take the further steps. Now, when you open this, let's see what is the failure. What is the reason for failure? Invalid template, unable to send a message. The template language base64 expected it. Okay. So there is some reason. We'll figure it out. But when you click on this one, right? So you have inputs and you have the outputs. In the outputs, you will see the details like the file display name and all that. Yeah. Okay. So it just took base 64 for this, guys. So that is the reason. So what we'll do, we'll go to again the view, edit. Okay. So though it is giving here items, it is taking a base 64. Now how I get to know? I can click on code view here and I can check it here, base 64. But I don't need this base 64 here because the display name will come as a text format. I don't want this base 64. So how can I do it? Now the one way is I have to use some other property, or else I can go and change it in a code view. So one is designer view, the one that you just saw, or else you can go to code view and you can change it. The code view is just a JSON. So here I know this is the send message action. Here it is taking base 64. So I don't need this base 64. I just need items and then the display name. This is the code that I was talking about. We are calling it as no code, but at times you need to do a bit of coding. And we as an integration developers, and we do it on daily basis. As in we know what is this item, what is this parameter. There is some reason for it. At least if you want to come into integration services, right, these things are mandatory, and this has very good demand in the market. Now I have updated it. Let's see if that is reflecting here. Okay, at least here it is showing item name. I will go to code view. Here also it is showing the display name. So I think I'm good for now. Let's see. Let's what we'll do. We'll upload one more file and we'll see how it gets triggered. So I will upload one more file. Okay, so this file this time advisory. What is this? Atul data. Okay, great. So I just uploaded. So I just have to go and check the history. We'll wait for 30 seconds. Let it be. We'll come back to this because we have to build one more logic app, right? So I will go to logic app, this logic app, which is notification logic app. Now, what is the trigger point for this one? We are saying when a message arrives in a logic app, I want to send a notification. That's it. So the trigger point here in my case is a message in service bus. That's it. So a message in service bus. So I'll just call it as search for service bus. Yeah. So this is what I need. So I need when a message is received in a queue. Again, autocomplete, T clock. These are some concepts related to service bus. So I'll just use this one. Okay. And which queue? It already took the service bus connection. The reason is we already created one. That is why it took. Okay. And then the queue, this one. And the queue type. I told you queues also you will have main queue, dead letter queue. Right now we are using main queue, and then that's it. When a message is in this queue, it gets auto triggered. So we have it now. Now only thing I need to send is I need to send a notification. Again, to send a notification, you have n number of services. You just search for mail, you will get n number of. Like you have Gmail, Tux Mailer, Polite Mailer, Zoho, Mailbox, Zoho. A number of things are here. But for me, the easiest one is Outlook. Outlook, send an email. Perfect. So I'll just sign in with my Outlook account. Any account would work. Okay. Okay, I just signed up, guys, because a pop-up came on my laptop, another laptop. So to whom I want to send notification, I just want to send it to some account. Let's use my same account with which I just logged in. Okay, so this is my just a test report, right? And then I'll just add what I want to add. Maybe I want to add the message that is coming from the message body. So I'll just add message. What else we have here? Content. I don't know what is the difference. Let's add this content also. Content of the message, service was message. Let's add the content. We'll just remove this one. Hey there, we have a new report. Okay. New report with the file name. Yes, that's it. So this will send the notification now. I'll just save this, and then I'll just go back, and here also we'll just wait. Okay, this also failed. Let's see why it failed. Okay, so here also the same problem, base 64. Here also base 64, all that came okay. Where is the message? Okay. Okay, we'll see one more time. Okay, now what we will do. Okay, so we have everything ready now. It is just we need to get the notification. That is the only thing. So what we will do, I'll just go to this notification. This is my another flow. Okay, so this is my first flow, this is my notification flow, and this is my queue. Now what will happen once I upload a file, right? This will get triggered. It will send a a message to queue. You will see it here. You will see it here. Actually, it will get picked up, so you will not see it very. I mean, it will be quick. It will be real quick, so you will not see it here, and then you will see a run here. So I'll just do that. Just browse this. And I'll just upload one more file. So this time, what I will do, I'll just upload this file. Power Apps architecture. Fine, this will just upload. Okay, so this is some file I uploaded. We'll just wait for a minute. As in 30 seconds is the time. We have to wait. Okay, so this gets picked up and this just sent. We'll just come here and see if it is available. Okay, you see one active message is here. If I just refresh it, right? Okay, let's open this message and see what is inside this message. Okay, so the message is here. Okay, so this is the message. Let's open and see. Okay, I don't see any body here, guys. So that is the reason. Even this right now, if you check, it will fail definitely because I'm not getting any body. Let me change this flow a bit. So the reason I understand, the reason is the display's name is not correctly working. So for now, let's use this file name. Let me go to code view. I hope this should work now. And let me upload one more file. Okay, with this, I'll just upload and I'll take questions and then let it run in the backend. Okay, so I hope this time you will see everything running from end to end. But yeah, with that, I'll just take a pause. Any questions? I'm happy to take. Okay, so okay, thank you for informative. AM is checking validation, API validation. Saikiran, I will answer your question, man. Please, what is the prerequisite to do this course? Govind, you don't need to. I don't know. Govind is still here. But for everyone, guys, this course you don't need any prerequisites. Even with a blank mind, with basic understanding on IT side, this will help you. As in, we are anyhow starting. We were covering everything from the scratch. As in why people are moving. So that is how it is. Please post the URL of the recording. Any future reference through the, please share through email or WhatsApp. Okay, thank you. Govind Raj, thanks for the section. Okay. Do we have Sai Kiran still? Okay, whatever. Because I need to answer those questions so that he can later also review it. Uh, what is that question? AAM is checking validation, API validation. I think the question was more on the APIM. That's what I'm understanding. APIM is acting as a gateway, Saikiran. So APIM basically will have so many things within it. You can configure policies. You can actually do monetization. You can actually, in fact, I will just show you the screenshot. Will not take much time. Azure APIM image. Okay. Strange. I don't get right image at right time. Fine. I will just show you this again. This has whole lot of things. Okay. So as I mentioned, you can assign policies. You can secure APIs by multiple ways. You have authentications, everything. You have monitoring available, as in you can check how many people are hitting your endpoint. Are they hitting it right or wrong? So there are a number of things available. I think this need one more section, guys, as in this API. I'm so sorry, but you can ping me on YouTube channel, Sai Kiran. I will definitely answer you. So sorry, but I just need to cover this one first. Okay, so I'll just refresh this now. By now, I hope. Okay, so this is completed now, and I hope I should have this also get refreshed. Okay, the message is not showing up here. That means this has already picked up, and I'll just refresh here, and you should seeing a success message. And I'll show you the mail that I've received also. This is my mailbox, and this is the message that I just kept in Logic app. Hey there, we have a new report with the file name. So this is the file name. Now anytime I can go and check this one. I think that's all for today. This recording will be posted on the YouTube channel, guys. You can use that one. And any questions, you can post it on the YouTube also. I can answer there. Because of the time constraint. What is the right course to understand into depth? That maybe Harini can take care. Harini, it's on you. Thank you. Mewalal, I'm so sorry. You can post your question here or else post it on YouTube channel. I can answer you. Because the call will end in next 5-10 minutes. Harini?
Yeah, thank you, Vinod.
As in anything you want to cover, Harini?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Thank you so much.
Okay, so there is a question. What is the right course to understand in depth? Any suggestions you have, Harini?
Come again.
The question is, is there a right course to understand in depth?
Okay. So actually, we have an Azure course.
Okay, Suryakant, so the team has an Azure course, so you can
Yes.
utilize you can utilize that one
Yes.
for in depth.
Students can go through the logiclabstech.com site and they can get the proper, like, whatever they want to go through this languages.
Thank you, Harini. Yeah, so we have a lot of courses, guys. So you can just go and visit the website, and you will get the details there. I just unblocked one guy, Megalal or someone. So sorry. Any further questions, team? Anyone? If not, we can wind up. Thank you so much for your time. Any questions you can say back. Otherwise, feel free to drop off. Thank you so much. Perfect. Thank you so much. Any questions, feel free to ask. I'll be here for 4 more minutes. Okay, so I'm not seeing any questions. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for joining. Being on weekend, also you spend some time. Hope you have learned something, and hope we'll catch some other time. Thank you.